struggle to make any gains. Zencash has changed their name to Horizen to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizen platform. The unique spelling of Horizen is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizen.global and join the Horizen community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports the rabbis of the Pittsburgh synagogue, where a gunman massacred 11 worshipers during Sabbath prayers, urged mourners at an interfaith memorial service on Sunday to embrace tolerance and unity, while the mayor vowed to defeat hate with love. Themes of inclusion and compassion dominated the speeches delivered to an overflow crowd of some 2,500 people at the University of Pittsburgh Soldiers and Sailors Hall, as speakers decried the rise of toxic political discourse, widely seen as creating an atmosphere conducive to violence. Tree of Life Rabbi Jeffrey Myers elicited shouts of "vote" from the audience as he called on political leaders, starting with those in this room, to help put an end to hate speech. He said from the stage, "My words are not intended as political. My mother always taught me that if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it." The Stronger Together service opened with a performance by a Baptist gospel choir and included remarks by Christian and Muslim clergy, but it was largely led by Myers and two fellow rabbis representing the three Jewish congregations who used the synagogue targeted in Saturday's carnage. Rabbi Jonathan Perlman said while choking back tears, "What happened yesterday will not break us. It will not ruin us. We will continue to thrive and sing and worship and lead together and continue our historic legacy in this city with the friendliest people I know." 3 members of his congregation were among those killed when a man armed with an assault rifle and 3 handguns on Saturday stormed the Tree of Life Temple in the city's heavily Jewish Squirrel Hill neighborhood, yelling, "All Jews must die," as he opened fire on worshipers. In addition to the 11 mostly elderly victims who were killed, 6 people, including 4 police officers, were wounded before the suspect was arrested. 2 of the surviving victims remain hospitalized in critical condition. Robert Bowers, who has a history of posting anti-Semitic messages online, has been charged under federal hate crime statutes and could face the death penalty if convicted. The mass shooting sparked security alerts at houses of worship around the country and condemnation from politicians and religious leaders. Some complain that the confrontational nationalistic rhetoric of President Donald Trump has encouraged right-wing extremists and fed a surge of activity by hate groups. Trump, who quickly branded Saturday's shooting as a pure act of evil and called on Americans to rise above hatred, was already facing similar criticisms ahead of congressional elections following pipe bombs mailed last week to some of his most prominent critics. Trump told reporters that killings might have been prevented if there had been an armed guard. Synagogue officials said police would normally only have been present for security on high holidays. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Could dropping bombs on Afghans without warning from terrifying robot airplanes that fly themselves actually hurt America's efforts to stabilize Afghanistan?
It's complicated. No, not at all. Actually, I think we need to stay the course. You don't change horses midstream, and you don't stop firing missiles from unseen death droids soaring high above the clouds just because a couple of schools get blown up.
We have got to find another way to obliterate this population.
What about flaming bulldozers or 50-foot tall tanks?
Let's do what we can for these civilians. I mean, why not name the drones Billy or Steve to make them seem less dispassionate?
Oh, that is a terrible idea. Billy is a horrible name for a drone.
They're now developing a 40-foot robot that actually looks more like an American soldier and also sprays lasers out of his eyes.
Well, at least that's a step forward.
Hey, look, as long as it fires missiles and bombs with very little accuracy and 0 Americans are at threat, I'm all for it.
Good point.
They should give it funny, floppy arms.
Yes.
Oh, it should spray candy out of its chest a few minutes before it starts shooting everything.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. We are doing an extra episode here, or at least I don't know if it's going to be the full show here on Monday night, but we are still at the Texas Bitcoin Conference. As I've been explaining, we've been recording show segments here, and there's just so many interesting people to talk to. We're overtime, basically, so we're expanding beyond just the weekend edition here on Free Talk Live and continuing some of the interviews with Todd Rowan, is it?
Todd Rowan.
Todd Rowan. Are you the CEO of Rewards.com?
I am the CEO of Rewards.com.
Does that mean you were the founder as well?
Well, yep. I certainly founded it and came out of the loyalty industry for about 20 years. I bought Rewards.com about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and was looking for the business model to put on it. And we ended up pivoting from doing a traditional points coalition into the crypto market. So
I first heard about Rewards.com last year at this very same Texas Bitcoin Conference. And of course, listeners that are new to this can go to TexasBitcoinConference.com. It's over by the time you're hearing this, but you can come next year because I'm sure it's going to happen again. This was definitely a success.
Good conference.
Yeah, it's a great conference. It's not too big. You can still talk to people, but it's also not really tiny either. It's a good kind of mid-sized show, and we've come to every single one of these things. So anyway, you and I were at the same campfire at the after party last year, and you were on the other side of it, so I didn't really get to meet you, but I heard you talking about Rewards.com, and I thought, wow, that really sounds pretty interesting, because what you did, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you bought this company. What you did was you brought in cryptocurrency as sort of the go-between between all these different points programs with different companies, right?
Well, so we're bringing in cryptocurrency as the reward currency that you receive. Instead of receiving a point or cash back, you're going to receive it in the form of our cryptocurrency.
It's not your cryptocurrency; it's Dash.
So you can receive Dash right now. Dash is one of our partners, and I'll explain that relationship here in a little bit. But yes, it is our cryptocurrency. We do have a cryptocurrency that is out. We just started distributing it.
What's that one called? Does it have a name?
It's Rewards Cash.
Okay.
RWRD is where you can find it. It is an ERC20 token right now. Ultimately, we will be building our own protocol and our own blockchain to run not only our program but white label other programs on.
So you have a bunch of different companies, like big names. I think Walmart, Staples.
So where that comes from is I've been in the industry for about 20 years. Built out a lot of the programs for the banks and airlines, American Airlines, American Express, Bank of America, Amex, or Intercontinental Hotels, and on down the line. So out of that, 20 years of working in that industry, either doing the earn, the system of records, or redemption side of it, we formed a lot of relationships through the industry. So part of that is what I've taken into Rewards.com and all those relationships. So we have relationships with 7,000 merchants worldwide. We're tied into gift card credit rails for redemptions, so a whole variety of different areas and relationships that we're using to leverage to build Rewards.com into an ecosystem that you can just do your everyday shopping, and instead of earning cash back or points, you're going to earn a form of crypto.
Now I did see because I've been on the site, I've registered an account, and if I recall correctly, there was an option to not use Dash and instead use some kind of
so the site is up right now. It's getting ready to relaunch right here before Black Friday. It's a whole new branding, look, feel to the site. It'll be fully tokenized at that point with the rewards token. You'll have the option for Dash, but right now it's a cashback or Dash.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yes.
So the idea is, instead of having these different companies with all their different rewards programs that you'd have to track separately or whatever if you were just the individual trying to deal with all that, it's just all tied in through Rewards.com. It all goes into the same pot for the customer.
Right. So Rewards.com is a program. So it actually stacks on. So if you're receiving, say, a retailer rewards program, say a Macy's rewards, and you come through Rewards.com, you're going to get the discounts of like about 5% of your purchase will come back to you in the form of crypto. You're also going to get the reward from the Macy's program, and then if you're using a credit card or another form of payment that gives you another reward, you'll get that as well. So you can stack up your options. When we build our protocol, that is for bringing in their actual programs into the whole protocol, into the coalition.
So that hasn't quite happened yet?
That's happening next year.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So right now, somebody can go to rewards.com. They can create an account there and immediately go shopping. Because I've done this. I bought a projector at Staples. We just launched the Bitcoin Embassy in Keene, New Hampshire. Yeah. So it's Bitcoin Embassy, New Hampshire, and it's the only one in the Northeast right now. And we got all the equipment mostly from Amazon, but I couldn't through Save It Purse, which is a cool way to save a bunch of money on Amazon purchases. But we couldn't find the projector at the price we were looking for, or the one that we wanted. Staples had it, and I'm like, I think they're on rewards.com. So I went through rewards. This is my first time trying it. And sure enough, I got $8 credit on rewards for buying a projector that I wouldn't have gotten before. Now, I haven't cashed it out to the dash yet, because you can kind of build it up, right, and then kind of cash it out.
Yeah, you can build it up and then select when you want to get it out.
That is so cool. So you guys are redesigning the site in time for Black Friday. So it's coming. There's a redesign coming soon.
Yeah. So that's coming soon here.
And this all started at the last conference, or take me back a little bit.
So the story on that goes is so I got familiar with cryptocurrency December of 2012. A good friend of mine.
Oh, okay. Good time to get familiar with
his name was Bob McDermott. His claim to fame is he invented the mouse pad. So he's inventor of the mouse pad. So he's always a little bit out there. But he called me up December and said, "Hey Todd, I just bought this thing called an ant miner, and it's the coolest thing in the world. It's mining this stuff called Bitcoin, and it's this digital global currency." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, Bob, that's a little far out there." So says, "No, it's really great." And it took him about 3-4 months to finally talk me into it. He's kept on me. He said, "Hey Todd, you got fixed power rates in your data centers." So we ran a bunch of data centers, and it was fixed contracts on the power rates. He said, "Just buy some and put in there." So I bought $30,000 of ant miners and put in my data center, and I was creating a Bitcoin every day to 2 days at that point in time, cashing it right out to fiat.
Damn it.
Oh yeah, no, believe me, I think last December I had to go through and kind of add it up. It was about 400 Bitcoin that I mined.
You shouldn't have done it. You shouldn't have.
and cashed out. So as I went back and looked at those trades, like 11 Bitcoins for $2,800 or something like that. I mean, it was ridiculous. So anyways, I kept, throughout that period of time, I'd go by my IT department and says, "Hey guys, we're mining this Bitcoin, sir, is there anything that we can actually do with it with our reward programs?" And they said, "Yeah, we'll look at it." And I ended up going to a meetup group early last year. And while I'm sitting there at the table, we were just getting ready to launch a points coalition on rewards.com, traditional point earnings, coalition. We had a bunch of coalition partners lined up to join us. And some guy at the end of the table said, "Hey, that would be a really great thing for cryptocurrency and blockchain." And so I went back, to the office and started taking the deep dive. I was familiar with altcoins and stuff out there and started really looking into what was going on in the market, and really came to a realization is it's a perfect fit for rewards and a rewards point. Yeah. It puts actual value in the currency. Whenever you come back in for redemption, it has value to it. You can turn right back around to the next people that are earning. It lifts the liability from the points side of the program, because you're putting the value in up front rather than carrying a liability of all the points you put out there. And then the blockchain technology, there's a lot that we can do with that in protecting consumer privacy, creating your digital identity on that, managing all your demographics and profiles that the marketer wants to have access to, but they don't necessarily need to have direct access to your email and your phone number and all your personal data. So as we started looking at this is a really great environment for the reward program, exactly where we need to go with it. So we did the pivot, and what happened is we kind of did a soft pivot as we were kind of talking about it. I guess it was around August of last year. And we decided to go out to a conference, Coin Agenda, and then we came here to the Texas Bitcoin Conference. And
can you hold that thought? Continue this here in a moment. We're going to continue. Todd Rowan is with us, CEO of rewards.com, talking about bringing in the world of cryptocurrency into the long-existing world of reward points for companies. We're going to continue here in moments. This is Free Talk Live. We are at the Texas Bitcoin Conference. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. The Liberty Dollar was so successful that the United States government had to take it down, and its founder, Bernard von Nothaus. Now Bernard's son Extra has launched Liberty Dollar 2. LD2 is a cryptocurrency, but each token is backed by the same gorgeous fine silver rounds that Liberty Dollar has always been known for. Your silver is secured in an audited vault and can be redeemed at any time. There's only a few thousand LD2 Zero tokens left in the crowd sale at ld2coin.io. Get yours, ld2coin.io.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
Now, you also said in another video that the moon is an iPod. Can you explain that one?
I believe the moon, the reason why it turns the color that it does is because it fills up with the humidity and water from the transmission of electrons or electricity. I believe that we're upside down being pulled by magnets right now. The actual ocean is in the sky, and they're reserving that sky. The reason we have thunder and lightning is because of the shock waves that go through the two skies up above. Otherwise, where's the thunder and lightning going to come? Because there's no way the clouds are that thick, or the planes wouldn't be able to go through it.
Have
you
ever been abducted by aliens?
No. Wait a second. Hold on a second. I think so. 45 minutes every single night.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Texas Bitcoin Conference. It's the 2018 edition here, doing some bonus interviews for our Monday night show. We'll probably have live content coming up here in a little while, but right now I've got Todd Rowan here. He is the CEO of rewards.com, and we're talking about something that everybody loves: free money, right? You're going to buy stuff out there in the marketplace anyway. why wouldn't you want to get some free cryptocurrency because you did it?
Get your discounts.
Right. Now, by the way, I do want to make sure that you know about Bitcoin.com. All this is brought to you by Bitcoin.com. If you're new to crypto, great place to go, get started. Take their Bitcoin.com Academy, learn about Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, and kind of where it all started, especially now because we're actually just about to celebrate the 10th anniversary. It's been a decade as of October 31st. So this week, it'll be a decade since Satoshi Nakamoto released the white paper about Bitcoin.
Yes.
So pretty cool timing here, and to wrap up this Texas Bitcoin conference. So Todd, you were just kind of taking us back to how rewards.com had gotten involved in cryptocurrency. You were telling the story that took us up to last year's Texas Bitcoin conference.
Yeah, so last year, like I said, we wanted to kind of see what was going on in the marketplace. So we decided to go out to Las Vegas. We attended a conference called Coin Agenda. At that point, we didn't even have a white paper. We just had an abstract and a little pull-up banner. When we set up a booth, and we ended up not doing a pitch at the conference, but talking kind of in between the pitches. And then we came here and did this conference. But when we got home, and it was a great reception. Everybody said, it was great, a great model, it was a great, model for crypto. And when we got home, we got an email from Coin Agenda that we had won the, best ICO. For that time. So, that actually kind of told us and kind of propelled us into the market at that point. So, the market's definitely interested in it. It's something that, is needed in the market. So, off we went, kind of full head, full steam into it. And, over the course of this year, we've been, pretty much, around the world at all the different conferences. Mm-hmm. One of the exciting places that I've been in my traditional business, our 7,000 merchants are spread across the U.S., the UK, Australia, and Canada is the primary markets that we've developed relationships in. And one of the most interesting areas that I went to here not too long ago was South Korea. And they're very, very much into the crypto market, and we got a great reception, there with rewards and bringing rewards.com. So I think that's going to be probably the third country on our expansion, plans. So,
surprise! People around the whole planet like free money for buying things.
They absolutely do. They absolutely do.
So you guys are you're tying in with all these big companies. I mentioned Walmart and Staples were two of the big ones that kind of jumped out at me. But this is a huge list. It was actually a little exhausting to scroll down through the list.
And what's on the site right now is really a partial list of what we have. There's only about 1,500 merchants that's on that site. Okay. Currently. So as we go in and relaunch the U.S. site, we'll put more merchants in, and as we relaunch UK and so on.
Well, one of the nice things was when I was, like I said, I signed up for an account a couple months ago and tested it out, and it worked. But I went through that list, and you had a way to favorite the ones that you liked. So it's like I didn't have to look through every single time I go to the site. It's like I just went through once. Oh, I would go there. Oh, I would go there, and then added it all to my favorites.
Right. So you can add them to your favorites, and then we also have a neat little feature in there too. We'll refine it a little bit more from where it's at right now, but it's called Share Link. You can take a link, to that and share that with your friends, and you actually get the credit for it.
Sweet. You guys have some cool stuff going on there, and so you're back here at this Texas Bitcoin conference. How's everything going? I know you had this cool little Wheel of Fortune kind of thing, this game that you've got set up over there.
Rewards is really about gamification, and actually within rewards.com, we're starting to put some of the gamification components in rewards.com. Okay. Right now, you can go to rewards.com. You can enter to win 2 NASCAR passes along with airfare and hotel. You can win a iPhone X. You can win a Samsung Galaxy. And then we're getting ready to launch the crypto wheel, where you can come in each day and spin the crypto wheel, and
so that's what you have
potentially
here.
Win some crypto. Yes. So what we have down there is a version of the crypto wheel where I think you can win.
It's like a big display.
You can win like 2 dash.
Right. It's as tall as a human being. You come up to it and you can kind of interact and spin this wheel.
And so we're actually taking that. We've been sponsoring a NASCAR just to expand the rewards.com community. I think we're on our 6th or 7th race right now. We're getting ready to do a race here in Dallas, which is our hometown, and then Austin with our partner Dash, or sorry, not Austin, Arizona with our partner Dash. Okay. And that's I think that's actually coming up next weekend. So we're taking these kiosks into the racetrack, so consumers can engage with rewards and play a game. It's not going to be a crypto wheel because they're not familiar with crypto, but it's going to be more towards the shopping side of things and getting them engaged with rewards.
But that's kind of also an interesting aspect of this is, again, everybody loves rewards points, right? I mean, who doesn't want to get free stuff, free money? You're going to be turning people on to cryptocurrency. So people that are coming across rewards.com where you're like, what's crypto dash?
Right.
They're going to have to learn about that. Right?
Yeah, well, so that's exactly the way we've set up rewards.com, is to make it a gateway, to learn about crypto. One thing we need in the crypto community is, mainstream adoption. We need more people getting involved. Right now we have very few people that actually in the world that really actually hold, any crypto.
Right.
So through rewards is a very non-friction way for us to introduce people to crypto and what it is. They can go to rewards.com, shop at Macy's, buy a new pair of shoes, spend $100. They're going to earn about $5 in crypto, back. They can, keep that in the rewards environment and redeem it for a gift card or some other merchandise later. Or we can educate them about, well, here's the whole secondary market. You can actually take this and go trade it for Bitcoin, or Ethereum or Dash.
So is that part of the site already? Because if it is, I didn't see it.
It is not part. That's the relaunch of the site. It's going to be fully tokenized on the relaunch.
Wow, you guys are doing some cool stuff, and I think that because you're bringing people to crypto, that's going to help because you guys already have this huge connection with all these merchants and all these industries.
Give people what they're doing every day. Go buy your household goods, your toiletries. Buy what you're going to buy anyways. Take advantage of that discount. And us in the crypto market, you might as well earn some crypto. I mean, you're going to buy some new clothes. You're going to buy some new outfits. You're going to shop online. So, go through rewards.com, buy a little bit of, buy your products through there, earn a little crypto, and you never know, it may go up and pay for what you just bought.
Yeah, I mean, you can't go wrong with this as far as I'm concerned, and I was so glad that we finally got to meet this year here, Todd. And was there anything else I should have asked you that I didn't?
No, I'm wide open. Ask me anything you can.
All right, great. Well, so we're just going to wrap this up. I appreciate you coming in and joining us here on the air.
Thank you.
Todd Rowan, he's the CEO of rewards.com. And, you're not a sponsor of Free Talk Live yet, but like I said, I've used the service because, I mean, again, who doesn't like free money and who doesn't like free dash?
Maybe we should be.
We'll talk about that.
Okay.
Thanks for coming on Free Talk Live. Really appreciate it. We're here at the Texas Bitcoin Conference. Probably got some more coming up here. And then later on, we'll get back to live content tonight on Free Talk Live, where you will be able to take control of the airwaves as Darryl will likely be taking over here at some point. Again, TexasBitcoinConference.com. Head on over there. Learn more about this great event. You missed it this year, but it's not too late because I'm sure they're doing this again in 2019. This is
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. We are at the Texas Bitcoin Conference for day number 3 at this point. So many interesting people here. We had to just keep on going into the future. Yeah, we're recording this on Sunday, but we already maxed out on the number of interviews for Sunday. So here we are on Monday, talking with Kevin McKernan, who is joining me here now from Medicinal Genomics. Now, Kevin, we first met at a Bitcoin conference in California, I think it was.
That's right, yes.
When, for whatever reason, the organizers had screwed up, it was D10Z or something.
D10E, that's it, right.
D10E, the decentralized conference.
Yeah.
Essentially it was a Bitcoin conference, but they had screwed up the hotel or something like that, and they hadn't gotten us the hotel room that we needed to get in order to stay, and you were like, hey, I know those guys. I listened to their show. Come on in. You gave us your hotel room and shared your hotel room with me and Mark.
Yeah. That's quite intimate for strangers, wasn't it?
It was, but it was all good.
That's good.
I was comfortable. It worked out. And it turns out you're actually in the medical cannabis space.
That's right. That's right.
Medical Genomics. Tell me what it is you do, and then we'll tie it into the blockchain and why you're here at the crypto conference.
So we make a variety of genetic tests for cannabis. There are tests that look for pathogens that infect the plant that can destroy yield. We also make DNA tests that look for human pathogens in the plant. Things like Aspergillus and E. coli and Salmonella. These things have to get tested on every unit of cannabis that's sold.
Wow.
It's jurisdictionally different state to state as to what has to get tested, but we service all the states in Canada. And then we also do a lot of sequencing of these cannabis genomes, and we hash them onto the Dash blockchain. And people are doing this.
Hold on. Sequencing a genome, hashing it onto a Dash blockchain, that sounds really complicated. Is there a way to make that understandable for the audience who doesn't even know anything about blockchains?
Yes, so good point. So this is a way of getting a digital notarization of a plant that you can't really notarize today. Most of the notarization systems are run by banks, and banks have federal collateral.
When I think of a notary, I think of somebody at a bank with a stamp stamping a document. What do you mean when you say notarizing a plant?
So for defensive IP reasons, or sometimes even offensive IP reasons, you need to prove that something exists. And one way to prove a plant exists is to sequence its genome, but then you got to get it notarized.
Is that a specific plant, or is that like a type of plant, like Bubba Kush or something like that?
Like a Bubba Kush.
Okay,
Yeah, but people are interested in different varietals. Some varietals make unique cannabinoids and unique terpenes, and so if you've bred something, you might want to prevent it from getting patented, so you'll put it public as a form of prior art, but you want to notarize that when you put it public, and the banks won't notarize these things yet. And so what people do is you do some DNA sequencing on the plant, so get a fingerprint of it, and then you make a hash of that data. And making a hash of that data it's a cryptographic process that is unidirectional. That means you can take the sequence, run it through an algorithm, and get the same hash every time, but you can't go the other direction. But then you can put that hash into a Bitcoin or a Dash transaction, and that will record it on a blockchain, which permanently, which has a timestamp, and the most important thing is it's immutable. It can't be changed, and the timestamps are trustworthy.
So let me see if I'm following this here. So you've got the this type of pot plant, cannabis plant. It's something that you've created or whatever, and you combine other plants together, or however it is that you've tweaked them to make this thing. You then sequence the genome.
Yes.
You then hash that genome. You get the unique code that identifies that genome.
Not to be confused with other forms of hash.
Right. It could be easily confused. Thank you for that. And then you put that hash, which is a unique number that specifically identifies that type of plant, onto the blockchain to say, we made this at this time here.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the government of China has recently, the Supreme Court in China has recently recognized blockchain notarization as, in fact, a legal form of notarization. We expect the same thing to happen in the United States.
Right. And this actually comes back to something we were talking with Randy Kelton about yesterday, of how blockchain is going to help free people from the government and allow us to do our own thing without having to ask their permission. You used to have to go to a government notary in order to get things notarized. Now you can just do your own thing.
That's right. And this also is an interesting form of sharing that can be done. When many people are putting these genomes public, they're actually creating like a cannabis LinkedIn in many ways, where growers can look for strains that are very close to theirs, or strains that are very distant from theirs, and that helps them get in touch with people that have unique genetics, and they might be able to then make additional crosses. So the genetics is a really interesting barcode, if you will, because it gives so much information about the heritability of the plant.
It's so cool to see all this happen. I mean, I know a lot about the black market dealings of cannabis from back in the 90s and the aughts, when you just kind of took whatever you could get, and then you got it out there. Now there's so much research going on. It's just getting started, right? Like
it's just getting started. Yeah. In fact, the first genetic surveys of like hundreds or thousands of plants have shown that this indica sativa nomenclature system we have is actually all rubbish.
Really?
Yes. There's no correlation with indica and sativa labeling to the actual genetic ancestry of the plants.
Okay.
So this means...
so throw all that out.
Throw all that out.
Okay.
It may have one time been real, but they've been so interbred in the black markets now that we really can't utilize that as an indicator of the chemotype of the plant.
Okay.
Like what type of cannabinoids or terpene it's going to express don't really have any correlation between indica or sativa.
So you just have to break it down. You got to look at the
we need a better nomenclature system.
Wow.
And that's kind of
are you working on that?
We are.
Okay.
So we were funded by Dash to actually sequence a very thorough genome. We call this a reference genome. Back in 2011, I sequenced ChemDog and put it public, but the technology we had back there left it really fragmented. So it was a genome reference that on the average size of the pieces in the genome assembly were about 3,000 letters long. It's not very long.
Okay.
You can still do something with that, but you can't really read entire gene structures when it's broken up that way. So Dash funded us to really sequence it very thoroughly, so we have like a chromosome to chromosome tip perfect map of the genome. And that helps in this, because once we have a really thorough reference, we can then compare everything we've done historically to that with much more precision.
Wow. Did you found this company?
I did, yes.
Genomics?
Yeah, 2011. We've been mostly operating, working with these qPCR tests, these tests that look for microbes on the plant to make sure we don't have pathogens on the plant getting into people's lungs. And that's been selling in the marketplace for several years now. It's probably used in over 90 different labs across the country. And very recently we began, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, we began doing this etching of these genomes onto the Dash blockchain, because these cannabis patents are coming out. And the cannabis patents are very broad, and they're a bit of an affront to the industry, because they the United States Patent and Trade Office, the USPTO, they're not very informed on what the prior art is, and much of the prior art is oftentimes censored and omitted because it's in the black market. So they're issuing these really, really broad patents, and this has created an impetus for people to prove that their strains exist now before they get submarined by another patent that comes out.
So, which would of course allow them to, whoever that company is that's doing these patents. Is there, one particular group that's really doing this?
There's a couple of them. Biotech LLC is probably has the most of them. I think they've got 3 or 4 patents now, and they just pushed one into Canada. Look, I know the people on that patent. They're good people. They actually contribute to the open science in the field. But they're like many patents. They get assigned to a corporation, and the corporation will then expand the claims as much as they can, independent of the inventor's will, and the patents just get broader and broader over time. And that's going to happen on these. The patents have been reapplied for, they've been expanded, so now any plant that makes both THC and CBD and at a certain ratio is owned by this group. Yikes. That's a huge class of plants.
That's scary.
We believe that those... We're not so certain they uniquely bred it. They certainly did breeding work and demonstrated they did breeding work, but I think they may have created something that already exists in the wild, and we went to try and document that. So very recently with this DASH grant, we actually sequenced one of these plants that looks like it might fall under the patent claims, but we found one that dated back before the patent. We found one that has record all the way back to 2007, and that's the one that we put public. So we have a 2007 Type 2 strain, a strain that makes both THC and CBD, now public online for anyone to compare their strain to see if they look like the 2007 version of the genome versus this thing that's been patented. And that might be a way for them to potentially get outside of the patent claims.
Boy, all this legal nonsense that is just getting in the way of development, as it always does. Sounds like you guys are doing some good work. Where can people go to learn more about medical genomics and what you guys are up to?
If you go to medicinalgenomics.com, you'll see it's a common spelling mistake. It happens all the time. You're not the first. That's a website that speaks a lot about the DNA testing that we do. Cannapedia, spelled with a K, and that's spelled with a K because of trademark nonsense. Cannapedia.net. That houses a phylogenetic tree and all these reports and all these other genomes that people can play with and look at.
So if you want to get into the science side, we're short on time. Kevin, thanks for coming on. Check them out. Medicinal Genomics.
There you go. Thanks.
This November, I'm running the New York City Marathon as a member of Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. 2018 has been a banner year for the Innocence Project. Since January, 9 of their clients have walked free. Innocent people who combined to serve more than 200 years in prison for crimes they did not commit. And because of the Innocence Project, the risk of being wrongfully convicted has been greatly reduced for millions of people. October 2nd is International Wrongful Conviction Day. It's an opportunity to draw attention to the countless innocent men and women who remain behind bars and the need to reform our broken criminal justice system to prevent wrongful convictions. At any given time, the Innocence Project represents 200 clients who need their help to prove their innocence. This year, the Innocence Project helped pass a first-in-the-nation prosecutorial oversight law in New York and eyewitness identification reforms in New Hampshire and Louisiana. You can help the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Normal blood pressure, naturally. How would that make you feel?
I'm Don from New Mexico. January of 2000, I had a heart attack. Then my real health began going downhill. I had high blood pressure, diabetes, poor vision. I wasn't sleeping well. I was a mess.
Don reports dramatic improvements with Heart and Body Extract.
I started taking Heart and Body Extract. From within a few days, I started sleeping better. My blood pressure normalized. My diabetes normalized. My sleep improved.
Experience these benefits and more when your body heals itself with the assistance of Heart and Body Extract. Order at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305.
And folks, I did not expect this at all. By the 7th, 8th, and 9th day, I saw dramatic improvements from taking Heart and Body Extract.
Heart and Body Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. We're at the Texas Bitcoin Conference on what is now day number 3. Because there's just been so many interesting people to talk to here, we decided to just bust out of the weekend and keep going. I got Frank Robles with us here from digitaltown.com. You're the VP over there of Global Operations, and I'm new to this Digital Town, Frank, so tell me a little bit about what it is.
Well, it's leveraging...
And come real close on that, Mike. Thank you, no problem.
Is that better?
Yeah, great.
So we're leveraging blockchain technologies to help businesses and communities fight back against the extraction economy.
An extraction economy?
The extraction economy.
What is that?
Well, if you look at online retail sales as an example. Just
Amazon.com.
Amazon.com.
Monster, right?
Sure, it's an example, but I wouldn't just call them out. This thing grew from near zero 18 years ago to now it's broke over 10% last year, and it's now growing a little bit exponentially.
10% of
all transactions. All transactions in the United States now 10%
are
of those
online.
Are online.
Wow.
Now, it took a long time to get there, right?
Yeah.
But if you look at it now, you think of it, 18 years. If you think about it now, people think, 10%, that's small. Well, this is how 10% feels. As businesses close.
To a business owner, that could be the 10% that puts them under.
That's right. Yeah. And it is. In so many communities, it is. But now it's growing at a pretty larger factor. It's growing at about 1.3% a year.
Wow.
So within 5 years, we're going to break 20%. Now, I was talking with an analyst at Gardner not too long ago, and they actually do a lot of work in this area. And they were examining even some of these micro markets, not the larger market. As you break 20%, that's the magic number. So when you break 20% on online purchases in a particular market segment in a community, that you can't find that item locally anymore. It's gone.
Wow.
And you can start to see that happening around our country and the rest of the planet.
Well, that would mean that after that, it must accelerate even faster if the product isn't even available locally.
That's correct. So we're trying to give small businesses and communities tools to fight back.
Okay.
And that's kind of the nature of where we're coming from. So by using blockchain technologies and our smart wallet, we enable people to search locally. It's really locally focused. Find local businesses that you can interact with, and then do those transactions.
So tell me what that's like. I mean, from the consumer's perspective, I need to go to digitaltown.com, and then I can search my local area?
Yes.
Does that only find the businesses that you guys have talked to personally and brought on board the system? How's it
No,
work?
we index as many businesses as we can, and we try to get the businesses to self-adopt. So they'll show up in our system whether they've adopted or not. Very similar to the way Yelp got started, when Yelp was indexing businesses, and the business can adopt and they can join and they can get further benefits from doing that.
I see.
So we're doing a pretty
Okay.
similar way. And today, the user has to install the app and the business has to install the app to get the benefits. Soon, we're going to take it even further so that even if the business does sign up, the user doesn't have to. So we're going to allow them to swipe their credit card to do a charge. Instead of having both ends of the solution be in blockchain, we'll start off with just having the business's end of the solution being in blockchain. And then help people migrate over. Very similar to what, what is it? Starbucks did. Starbucks was taking regular credit card transactions, swiping cards, and they introduced their application. Now they're kind of the largest wallet in the world in terms of funds inside the wallet. So that's
private currency, basically.
Private currency, yeah.
Okay, so take me through, I guess, an example of this. I'm a local person. I'm looking to buy a certain product. How do I come across Digital Town in the first place?
Well, we've been getting the word out. We're starting to engage local media. We're getting earned media, and we're reaching out to the community, mostly business groups, business-based, trying to talk to members.
Chamber of
groups,
Commerce, that kind of thing.
Chamber of Commerce. Recently, the South Austin's Business Association signed up, and they're having us sign up all of their members as an example.
I see. Okay.
We're also been reaching out to farmers markets to do this, engaging the community, so getting the awareness out. And so the awareness we're starting to happen. We've got about 4,000 users already signed up in Austin from
How
our
new
launch.
is this? When did this start?
We started launching over the summer, really.
Okay, so brand new.
Brand new.
Okay. So you're getting the word out to people, and the idea is, hey, this will help connect you better with local businesses to find the things you want to find locally rather than online.
Right. It can assure a buy local type of situation. A lot of communities have this idea, hey, we should buy local, we should support local.
They do have that, yeah.
And it's growing.
Where I'm from, Keene, New Hampshire, they have a little phrase, it's keen to buy local.
It's exactly
right?
So by using this, you assure that you're doing that. Because it searches local businesses. It's all bound by your range. We look at your location of your cell phone. You present local businesses.
So obviously the big challenge, right, and the reason why people go online is because they can get something for less. Maybe the product is available at a local business, but maybe it's more expensive. Is there any way to attract people to this besides this sort of loyalty of local?
Well, yeah, a few ways actually. So for less can be argued. What some businesses are doing now with our system, and this is new for us, is as businesses join, they're giving discounts to users of the system to overcome that. 10% off, 20% off. Some of the deals are pretty nice.
Okay.
So that's one method. In terms of use less. What I've found myself is when I'm buying online, it's easier to find the item. And then I learned later that item might have been just down the street. I just didn't know it existed. So what we are going to do, it doesn't do completely today. Today, a business can list their items for sale. What we're going to do is allow that to happen more electronically, so we can index all their inventory. So
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as you do a search, I'm searching for a red pair of shoes, this model number. I want it to show up in our system, and I can see here's the 2 Dillards, and here's one sort of a corner store that I can buy that at, a fashion store, and then I can search it, I can find it, I can show it up on a map right now in our system.
So instead of having to order and wait, you can just drive down the street, and go pick it up.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So we do that today with food items, like in our system today. You can log in. You're here in Austin. You can say, I want a fish taco this afternoon. Search for fish tacos. I already have all of the menus indexed. So I can show you on a map right here. Here's the 3 places within walking distance you can go get a fish taco.
Oh, man, I haven't eaten lunch yet. Okay, all right.
So you get the idea, right?
Yeah. Okay, so how does cryptocurrency tie into all this? Because not everyone who's in business is ready to start taking crypto. So is there... Well, you're here at a crypto conference, right? So tie me in.
I was one of the speakers.
Right.
The small business doesn't care about crypto. They are struggling to do their business. Typically, they're 5 employees or less.
Right.
And so trying to teach them a new technology...
They don't have time for it.
Well, just think back a little bit. This was discussed in my panel. When I was part of the early launch of the internet. I was at Netcom. I was part of that whole deal. And just getting the internet out... it became different when it wasn't a matter of getting a T1 from a telephone company and getting a Cisco router. Everyone wasn't running around doing that.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what we're doing right now with crypto and blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, if you want to play, you need to get at that level.
Right.
And then at Netcom, once we introduced a floppy disk, you put in your computer and suddenly you're connected to the internet. I signed up 250,000 users over a summer.
Right.
It just blew up. And so I'm trying to, with this, I want to simplify the offering. So for businesses, we're not saying this is crypto, this is blockchain. We're not telling them that.
Mm-hmm.
It is, of course. So it has to be to do what we're doing. But they glaze over when you start explaining that to them. They care about services capability. So when they're using our system now, most of the comments I get is, wow, that was easy. They install the app, they use the service, they just go click, click, you're done, you get your money, done. And so in behind the scenes, we take care of all the crypto and blockchain. When fiat comes into the system, we support 16 fiat currencies. We tokenize them. And we allow, in our system, behind the scenes, they're tokenized so they can move back and forth. The user doesn't see tokens. They're not giving anybody tokens. They don't need to know. Right. The money's put in an escrow account. It doesn't move. So bank charges are not being incurred.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not moving them from one physical account to another physical account. I'm moving tokens around between wallets.
Is the customer paying through the Digital Town app?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
So ultimately, the business owner gets fiat if that's what they're looking to get.
Well, that's the interesting thing. So because we're supporting all these fiats, let's say you want euros,
mm-hmm.
And I have a wallet with dollars in it. You present me your euros wallet, I'm zapping money over to you, it gets converted into euros.
That's really
cool. And
cool.
we just convert the bank rate, no magic, no crazy stuff, it just happens. Users don't need to be worried about it. This doesn't completely work yet. We do it for blockchain, or sorry, Bitcoin, but we're adding Ethereum and a few other tokenized currencies. But what we want to do that with tokenized currencies too. So I'm a food truck down the street here,
mm-hmm.
And I'm selling some interesting food. Some guy, Bitcoin guy's here. He's got a bunch of Bitcoins. He wants to buy some food. Why make him convert that into fiat? Let him buy it with tokenized currency. So the food truck presents their wallet. They have their QR code. They ask for tokenized currency. Ask for fiat currency. They want dollars. The guy with the tokens zaps it. They get dollars. He got decremented tokens.
Wow.
They get dollars. And we take care of all of the difficult stuff, within our system. It doesn't have to be. End users don't have to care about that.
Okay, cool.
I mean, people are asking at the business discussion is, when are businesses going to adopt this? How are they going to do that? They need to do it without knowing it. It's like nowadays, people are using the internet. They don't even realize they're using the internet. My wife gets on her phone. She does a couple of things. She doesn't know if it's the internet or not internet. It's just an app on her phone.
It's very exciting, Frank. I appreciate your time coming in here on Free Talk Live. And digitaltown.com is your website. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much.
This is Free Talk Live. We're at the Texas.
Marijuana has unleashed a green gold rush across our nation. It's creating $10.8 billion in new wealth a year. And every day, it's transforming more and more Americans into millionaires. In an historic event, former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how you could become one of them. Join him online for the American Cannabis Summit. Attendance is 100% free, but space is limited. To secure your spot, text JOIN to 44055. This event is the first of its kind ever. John Boehner and an esteemed panel will reveal which cannabis stocks are primed to deliver life-changing windfalls in the weeks and months ahead. Plus, they will show you how to become a cannabis angel investor, backing the hottest startups before they potentially become worth billions of dollars. To join American Cannabis Summit, text JOIN to 44055. Attendance is free. Text JOIN to 44055.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, October 29th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.69 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,231 per ounce. Zen is trading at $14, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,331. Antiwar.com reports heavy fighting over the weekend in Syria's Deir ez-Zor province has left at least 40 fighters from the U.S.-backed Kurdish forces dead and an unknown number of them captured by the Islamic State. The Islamic State has also recaptured some territory previously lost in the fighting. This was a continuation of a counterattack launched by the Islamic State in response to several offensives by the Kurdish YPG against their last 2 towns in a remote border region. The goal appears to have been to stop some advancing Kurdish forces and to retake some lost land in the area. U.S. officials downplayed the seriousness of the losses, saying the Islamic State took advantage of a sandstorm and that both sides had taken massive numbers of casualties. The U.S. also intends to increase airstrikes against the Islamic State. The Islamic State has regularly taken advantage of difficult terrain and the weather in the area to counterattack when U.S. air support is not available. On the ground, the Kurdish forces appear to struggle to make any gains. Zencash has changed their name to Horizen to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizen platform. The unique spelling of Horizen is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizen.global and join the Horizen community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports the rabbis of the Pittsburgh synagogue where a gunman massacred 11 worshipers during Sabbath prayers urged mourners at an interfaith memorial service on Sunday to embrace tolerance and unity, while the mayor vowed to defeat hate with love. Themes of inclusion and compassion dominated the speeches delivered to an overflow crowd of some 2,500 people at the University of Pittsburgh Soldiers and Sailors Hall, as speakers decried the rise of toxic political discourse, widely seen as creating an atmosphere conducive to violence. Tree of Life Rabbi Jeffrey Myers elicited shouts of vote from the audience as he called on political leaders, starting with those in this room, to help put an end to hate speech. He said from the stage, "My words are not intended as political. My mother always taught me that if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it." The Stronger Together service opened with a performance by a Baptist gospel choir and included remarks by Christian and Muslim clergy, but it was largely led by Myers and 2 fellow rabbis representing the 3 Jewish congregations who used the synagogue targeted in Saturday's carnage. Rabbi Jonathan Perlman said while choking back tears, "What happened yesterday will not break us. It will not ruin us. We will continue to thrive and sing and worship and lead together and continue our historic legacy in this city with the friendliest people I know." 3 members of his congregation were among those killed when a man armed with an assault rifle and 3 handguns on Saturday stormed the Tree of Life Temple in the city's heavily Jewish Squirrel Hill neighborhood, yelling, "All Jews must die," as he opened fire on worshipers. In addition to the 11 mostly elderly victims who were killed, 6 people, including 4 police officers, were wounded before the suspect was arrested. 2 of the surviving victims remain hospitalized in critical condition. Robert Bowers, who has a history of posting anti-Semitic messages online, has been charged under federal hate crime statutes and could face the death penalty if convicted. The mass shooting sparked security alerts at houses of worship around the country and condemnation from politicians and religious leaders. Some complain that the confrontational nationalistic rhetoric of President Donald Trump has encouraged right-wing right-wing extremists and fed a surge of activity by hate groups. Trump, who quickly branded Saturday's shooting as a pure act of evil and called on Americans to rise above hatred, was already facing similar criticisms ahead of congressional elections following pipe bombs mailed last week to some of his most prominent critics. Trump told reporters that killings might have been prevented if there had been an armed guard. Synagogue officials said police would normally only have been present for security on high holidays. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spendabit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spendabit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Inclement weather prevents a liar from getting to work, and a lunchbox is mostly medication. Sources across the nation impatiently reported today that the 24-hour news cycle seemed to be taking forever, telling reporters that the continuous coverage from MSNBC, CNN, and other news sources was simply not continuous enough. Frustrated Americans demanded more panel coverage, around-the-clock bulletins, and breaking reactions from Twitter.
It's like, sure, I have 5 channels of unending news updates constantly flooding my screen, but each one of those only has one slow-moving news ticker. Why not 3 or 4 running at triple speed? Honestly, these networks need to understand that I can't just wait around all day for minute-by-minute coverage.
And in this week's science news, a new report finds that lake ice grows safer to venture out on with each beer consumed. In other news, the beauty industry announces a new initiative to make women self-conscious about their palms. A beautiful cinnamon bun is too good for this world, too pure. And a picky eater is 38.
This is the Onion News Network.
This is Free Talk Live. We're at the Texas Bitcoin Conference. Like I said earlier, it's over. If you're listening to this particular show, you can't come out at this point. It's been a great conference, meeting all kinds of interesting people who are interested in not only cryptocurrency, but everybody else has other things they do. And there's actually been some workshops here at the Texas Bitcoin Conference, most of which, of course, are focusing on technology and cryptocurrency and blockchains. But there's also been a juggling workshop here. And I don't know if has it happened yet? Jim Maxwell, you're joining us here.
Yeah, it happened yesterday afternoon, and will happen again. Actually, we're basically workshopping the entire time we're here.
Okay, great.
You see us out juggling, and come up and talk to us, and we'll show you how to do whatever you want to do.
So you're part of the Texas Juggling Society.
That's right.
And it's my understanding that Paul Snow, who is one of the founders of the Texas Bitcoin Conference, is also a longtime juggler.
That's correct. I know he juggled some in college back in his college days in A&M, and then I met him probably about 7 or 8 years ago. He started getting involved with our organization and coming out and juggling with us every Thursday here in Austin.
So, I mean, obviously, juggling, hand-eye coordination, you got to be on your game. Takes probably a lot of practice. Did you start when you were a kid?
I did. I taught myself to do a cascade when I was about, like early teenager, and I knew how to.
Cascade's a type of
Cascade
juggling?
is just a basic 3-ball. It's the most basic pattern. It's like a figure 8. Yeah. That's the shape of the cascade pattern, and taught myself to do that, and could do it a little bit, but didn't really take it anywhere or do anything else with it other than pick it up like once or twice a year just to remind myself how to do it. And then when I got to Austin in the early 90s, the Texas Juggling Society was already going pretty strong at that point. And once I started going to social meetings, then social juggling is another dimension of it. And
tell me what that is.
So it's just basically there are clubs all over the country that get together usually once a week and just get together, hang out, juggle, do a lot of passing. Social juggling, it does imply a certain amount of interaction.
So when you see two jugglers throwing the... What are they called? Batons? What are they
clubs,
called?
Juggling
Okay,
clubs. Clubs, balls, and rings are the primary tools or instruments of a juggler. And then, you just hang out with them, learn new tricks. You get various patterns going, especially with multiple people, and you can change things around quite a bit. And
Cool.
yeah, there's really no end of what you can do with juggling these days.
And then, of course, some people take it to an extreme with flaming torches.
Absolutely, yes. That adds a little bit of a psychological element. And of course, now with technology, we've got state-of-the-art LED clubs that are just phenomenal.
Pretty to watch that.
Yeah. I was playing with some of those last night. And
Make
they're
for
just
interesting photos,
really
I imagine, as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So Texas Juggling Society. So it's been around for a while, a few decades.
Yeah, it started in the mid-'70s and has been going on in Austin ever since then.
How many people are involved?
Well, our weekly meetings, we get about 30 to 40 people every
lot
week.
of people.
Yeah, it's a lot of people. And
Ranging from novice to expert?
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right. And ranging from age 3 up to 93.
Wow.
So yeah, it's the full gamut. And then there's
cool.
also a student organization. And when I say it started back in the mid-'70s, it started as a student organization. And still is a student organization, but
interesting.
Over like the 80s and 90s, as more people started moving to Austin,
opened it up.
It became more of a community-based organization as well.
So tell me, at what point did Paul come into one of these juggling meetings and start talking to you guys about cryptocurrency?
Well, I remember Paul talking about cryptocurrency before I really knew what cryptocurrency was.
Of course,
yeah, for sure. He was definitely. I could tell he was on the forefront of it. And then the last several years, we see a lot less of him at juggling because he's definitely a lot more active with the crypto side. So,
did you ever get persuaded to check it out yourself? And learn about it?
Not too much. I'm not really bent that way, but I'm pretty much a free thinker at heart. So and most jugglers kind of fall into that bent.
So how did you guys end up here at this conference?
Paul asked us. He said, "Hey, I'm interested in integrating juggling into the Bitcoin conference," and we're like, "Okay, sure." And he knows that we do gigs like this around town for other groups and things like that.
Do you normally get paid? Do you get hired?
Yeah, we get we make a little bit of money because we have an annual festival that we do in late February every year where we
here
bring
in Austin.
Here in Austin we bring in jugglers from all over. So we get some city funding and then we have to raise some revenue for matching funds for that. And we're a pretty active little nonprofit. It's all centered around one activity, but Paul is very familiar with our operations. He wanted to support us and us support him. So
did you get paid to come here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yep, I'm a hired gun.
Very cool. And I've seen a few other. You're not the only person here. How many of your crew are?
We've got about 6 or 7 here, and same yesterday we had about 6 or 7, and just canvassing and interacting with people and making sure if they have any interest at all, giving them the
How
tools
to get in touch.
Giving them the tools to play and have fun.
If somebody's out, this is a show that airs across the United States. So if somebody's not in Austin, which is probably where most people are listening, is outside of Austin, what should they do if they want to get in the world of juggling? Where to get started?
Sure. Well, now of course we have the internet. So when I first started juggling, it was just before the internet exploded, and the only way you could find out was through organizations like the International Jugglers Association. And they are still around, but they're having to reinvent themselves in the age of the internet because everybody sort of goes there.
Yeah.
But if you just Google your city and juggling, you can usually find
Somebody's
an organization.
nearby.
Yeah, there are most major cities across the U.S. have some juggling activity. Some of it may be sporadic, but it's pretty widespread these days, and mainly because of the internet.
That is fantastic. I think it's an old art, right? Like
Absolutely,
when did this goes back for centuries?
I think I don't know the exact date, but there are some glyphs from ancient Egypt that depict juggling, and I think that is the oldest depiction of juggling.
That's
probably about 3,000 years. Yeah,
my goodness.
Yeah, for sure.
So it started with people working for the king, basically.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
entertain the king and his
court
people.
Gestures,
Don't drop one of them in front of the king, or else I imagine things are probably a little less risky today.
Yeah, there's a whole history of it. There are books to learn about the history of juggling.
That's fantastic. Texas Juggling Society. What's y'all's website?
Juggling.place.org.
Very cool. Thanks for coming here on Free Talk Live. I really appreciate your time.
My pleasure.
Enjoy the day.
Thanks. You too.
Yeah. That's Jim Maxwell from the Texas Juggling Society, and we are here at, and I say we, Mark is not feeling well. I don't know if he drank the water here in Austin, but it's been interesting times because I guess there was some flooding, and I don't know if that meant that some human excrement made it into the wrong place or something like that, but I guess Austin's been on a boil order for the last week, so the only way you can get water around here is safely, I guess, is to get it from bottles. So that's one of the interesting restrictions here in Austin as we're conducting this Texas Bitcoin conference. But as you can see, it is a conference that has a variety of people attending it, including jugglers. So very, very interesting show. It's been great being here, as it has been for the last few times. This is the 4th Texas Bitcoin conference. And Free Talk Live, of course, is brought to you by the AMP program. And thank you to Carl. That's Carl with a K. He's a Free Talk Live Platinum Amplifier, meaning that Carl contributes $25 per month to Free Talk Live. And all we ask of the AMP program is $5 per month. And so Carl's going way above and beyond that. And he's been a long-time Free Talk Live amplifier. So again, thank you to Carl for that. If you want to become an amplifier, just go to amp.freetalklive.com. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And the idea is simple. It's a way for you to help us get the message of liberty and peace and cryptocurrency on the air in markets across the United States. We've got 194, I think, radio stations right now, well over 190. We're getting close to 200, and we can get there. We can get to 300. I mean, we can do more than that. But it takes time. It takes marketing, and we have the ability to do that with your help. When you join the AMP program at amp.freetalklive.com, ampamp.freetalklive.com. Of course, you can do it with Bitcoin, BTC, and also there's, of course, PayPal and credit cards are your options as well. You get some perks. You get some cool access to stuff that only amplifiers get, like the AMP Only podcast. There's also an AMP Only Facebook group for those of you still on Facebook. Plus, you get access to the contributors only areas of our Discord chat, which of course continues to go on even though we're not live. You were always there. People are over on Discord, over at discord.lrn.fm. But sign up for the AMP program today over at amp.freetalklive.com. As we continue, it's Free Talk Live from the Texas Bitcoin.
Crimes of the Crown by Captain Mark. The Crown casts the world in shadow and claims to be our guiding light. Cowards clamor for security from boogeymen and ghost stories, while I say these hobgoblins are imaginary. I say those they propped up as our liberators are now subsisting on our bondage. I say there is freedom in the black, and that's exactly where we intend to go. The Crown banishes its own officers for exposing its crimes and tortures dissidents to the brink of madness. It dominates the globe and swallows the wealth of generations, leaving only blood and excrement. The Crown calls it piracy to explore frontiers beyond its grasp. So the time has come for us to define the conduct among pirates. I say the Crown has trampled our necks long enough. Need decentralized solutions to centralized problems? Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels? Or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com. We won't be hard to find.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink, like we have. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening at home anytime, anywhere from your smartphone. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated, so send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks, or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. We're at the Texas Bitcoin Conference for an extra day, day number 3. The conference actually ended yesterday, so if you missed it this year, well, I wouldn't worry. I think they're going to probably do it again. I haven't had a chance to talk to the organizers yet, but judging by the size of the attendance, I'm guessing it's going to happen for a 5th time in 2019. Of course, we'll keep you in the loop when that does. Also, want to make sure you know about the Blink home security system. The company Amazon loved Blink so much they bought the product, so now Blink works with Alexa. There's no contracts, no subscriptions. They are wireless HD cameras, motion activated, easy to set up around your house or maybe in a small office. It really doesn't get much easier than this. You unbox them, put the batteries in, which last up to 2 years. Mine, I've been going strong for more than a year now at this point, and those are, of course, back at the LRN.FM studios. Go to blinkprotect.com/FTL to get yours. That's blinkprotect.com/FTL. You'll get 15% off what is already a very affordable system by going to blinkprotect.com/FTL. All right, so we continue here. I'm joined by actually Gene the Christian Anarchist. Hey, Gene.
Hello. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's great to have you here hanging out at the conference as Mark has fallen ill. I don't know if he was drinking the Austin water or what happened, but he is out. And we actually still have all kinds of interesting folks coming up and talking to us here. In fact, right now, it's actually the first wallet company we've talked to so far. I don't know if there's anybody else here, but Daniel Arulraj is here from Vault Wallet. And it's a wallet that is so new, it's not even really available yet. But you're excited about it, Daniel. Welcome to Free Talk Live.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, I'm very excited about it.
Tell me, with all the different wallets out there, there's a variety of options in the marketplace. Many of them have been there for years. What was it that inspired you guys to create another one? What do you want to bring to the table that's different? Tell me what's exciting about this.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're building at Vault Wallet. We're building a wallet that's the PayPal or Venmo for blockchain and crypto for Bitcoin. So we want to make it very easy for you. Right now, we believe that a lot of the wallets are very hard to use. Myself, when I started, transacting with Bitcoin last year, it was challenging. It was kind of cumbersome and very technical. And we want to make it easy for everyone so that you can participate and, send transactions to your peers and your friends and also use it as a payment.
You were showing me yesterday briefly a demo of what might be a soon beta release of the wallet. And what is it that makes it easier? Because there was a way to connect without actually having to scan a QR code. Tell me about some of the other options that
Absolutely.
You're bringing.
So we have a contact management service, and what that pretty much means is you can add someone else as a friend or a connection. Mm-hmm. And once you do that, you can actually share individual wallets that you create. So, for example, if I want to share a private wallet with just another person, I can add Ian, and I'll share my I'll create a wallet, and I'll share my specific wallet with Ian.
Do you need me to be in front of you to do that, or
not at all?
No.
You can be anywhere you want. You can be around the world.
How are you adding me? Because normally, if I'm scanning somebody's wallet, it's a QR code, it's a long string of letters and numbers. Is this via email, via phone number? What's the method that you're adding?
Absolutely. So you can log in using your existing platform. So if you have Gmail, you can simply log in using Gmail.
Oh.
You can log in using Facebook.
So I don't need to create a new login to use Vault Wallet? Is what
Not at all.
Okay.
So if you want, you can create a new login.
Right.
And so basically the user is in control of how they log in.
Mm-hmm.
And we want to make it where you choose, if you have GitHub or whatever it is, you can log in using that.
Okay.
And once
so I could create a new login if I wanted to, because I don't trust Facebook.
Exactly.
Instance, so.
That's most of the users. They don't trust Facebook. I don't trust Facebook myself. But if someone chooses to,
someone will.
They can.
Yes.
So create your own login, log in, and once you do, I can add Ian using his email address or his new login.
Okay.
And I'll have his access to his username. And once I do that, I can create a wallet and share it with him. And sharing it means I only share with him the account address. So basically,
the public
key or the public address.
Yep.
So once I share that with him, he can share a wallet with me, and now we're good to go.
Which will he even see, or with the person with whom you've shared it, will they even see what the key is, or is it just like, oh, this is Ian, you can send money to him?
So that's a cool part. You don't have to see if you don't want to.
Okay.
So if you're technical, if you're in the space, you want to know your key, you can.
Okay. Good.
And if not, you just send it to Ian.
That's perfect.
It's good to go. So we want to cater to the average user,
right?
And also want to cater to the technical user who's already in Bitcoin.
I love it. I think it's really important because, mass adoption is obviously, it's still a hill that we're barely climbing up, the beginnings of here at this point.
Absolutely. I think it's very early, and user experience is lacking in the space. It's a big problem, which is, causing people to lose their IDs, lose their wallets, and this is all kind of intertwined. And I think user experience and security is important for adoption and the technology as a whole.
So, okay, let me give you a tough question here. So, Facebook, somebody makes the mistake. I'm going to call it a mistake of signing up with Facebook, even though you're giving them the option, and then Facebook shuts down their account. How do they can they get back into that account on Vault Wallet?
So if you're logging in with Facebook, basically what happens is you own your private keys on your phone.
Right.
So Vault Wallet doesn't have access to your keys, neither does Facebook, no one does. There's only a method of logging in. So if you've already backed up your private keys in your accounts or your mnemonic, we offer different methods, then you're good to go.
Okay.
You lose your phone, no problem.
Okay, so there is a key backup. So this is something we always tell people about.
Yep.
And I know, Gene, you just got your Bitcoin wallet, and you've been hooking up with a bunch of different cryptos this weekend, and you did your backup, right? Like you wrote down the username and password.
With this wallet, apparently you don't need the backup. You just need to remember your username and password because the backup is stored up online.
It was what, Edge Wallet? Is that what you use?
Yeah.
It's a great wallet.
But I like this idea of PayPal because I've been using PayPal for over 10 years now, and it's just incredibly easy to use, and I have different credit accounts there, and I suppose you could replace those with different wallets of different cryptos, and I just have a default one that I make my payments from, and if I want to choose a separate one, it's basically 2 clicks and I'm paid.
Exactly.
I like that.
We want to make it so it's very familiar.
Is this going to be multi-crypto Vault Wallet?
Yes, it's multi-crypto. We're starting with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and we're working with partners who want to participate in our ecosystem.
So this sounds very exciting. Always good to hear people considering the new user, people considering people who we want to bring on board. We want people to be as familiar with cryptocurrency as PayPal and Venmo, but not have to know anything about how it works. I mean, as exciting as we find blockchain technology, the average person, they really don't need to know how cryptocurrency works to know that it does work.
Absolutely. Right. That's completely right, and that's the reason we started Vault. We want to make it very easy for the user and also participate in owning your own bank account.
And so, yes, you can have the backup phrase. This is so important. And Gene, you talked about a username and password with Edge. That's basically your backup phrase. You still should write those things down, because in that case, if you forget either one of those things, you're screwed. You're going to lose your money forever.
I told my wife, so she's responsible now.
That's important. And then, with whatever the wallet is, you always have to get that backup phrase written down, and then keep it in a safe place, someplace preferably that's not going to be burned up by fire. We talked with the Bill Fuddle people. It seems like a good solution to avoid house fires and things like that. So there are important provisions to consider. If you're going to keep more than $10 worth of Bitcoin in this wallet, then really take a moment to figure out what happens if my phone breaks. You got to think about those things, because like you said, you are basically your own bank account. There's nobody to turn to. You can't email the folks over at Vault Wallet and say, hey, I lost my password, right? You can't do that.
Yep, exactly. And I think in the future there's going to be even more ways. It's called multi-signature. I think you'll start seeing that in the future to make it even easier for your security. So I just keep up with what's the current technology that's out right now, and I think you'll be good to go.
Daniel Arulraj, thank you for coming on Free Talk Live.
Thanks, Ian.
VaultWallet.io.
Hear that? That's the sound of a house being trashed while a gang of thieves ransack the place. And what they don't steal will be destroyed.
This year, resolve not to be the next victim of a break-in. Go to faketv.com and discover a device that creates the illusion someone inside is watching TV, even when you're miles away. Security is a mindset, and Fake TV should be part of your security solution. Be vigilant, but not fearful. faketv.com.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the purest for you and your family. For over 14 years, thousands have depended on Berkey Clean Water. The Berkey guy has you covered at home, work, and on the go. With water filtration systems of every size for every budget. Now GCN listeners receive 10% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN at goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. Goberkey.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. convictions. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. We are at the Texas Bitcoin Conference for what is essentially day number 3 of broadcasting of what was really only a 2-day conference. There have been plenty of great, interesting people here in the cryptocurrency world to talk to, and so I wanted to keep things going rather than artificially end it on Sunday. So we're going to continue that here. But I also want to make sure that you know about Liberty.menu. If you are an individual who rejects the initiation of force and who agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle, you're going to love Liberty.menu because it is essentially at its core a libertarian business directory. This is something that freedom-loving people have been wanting for a long time. There have been a couple of lackluster attempts at this, and Liberty.menu is the one that you've been waiting for. And not only is it for business owners, but also events coordinators, digital content creators. If you love freedom, you really ought to have your thing that you do listed over at Liberty.menu. You can use code FTL, get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. Go to Liberty.menu. The site is free, so you can add your business or more than one business to Liberty.menu. And also, if you are a liberty-loving person, you probably already know, and you're into cryptocurrency, you probably already know about what was called Zencash, has now been rebranded to Horizen, Horizen. .global is the website, and the reason for it, as we've been promoting on to our audience for the last month or so, is because Horizen is a much bigger concept than just a cryptocurrency. And we actually have one of the founders here at Texas Bitcoin Conference. His name is Rolf Verslius.
Verslius, that's correct, Ian.
Where's that name from?
My dad's Dutch.
Dutch.
So it's from the Netherlands. They say it differently over there, though.
How do they say it?
Verslaus.
Verslaus. So welcome, Rolf, to Free Talk Live. It's the first time we've had you on the show. We had Rob Viglione on previously to talk about Zencash. Again, it's now known as Horizen. You're one of the founders. Tell me about how you got involved way back when.
Sure, yeah. So I got involved from the mining side of things. So I'm a big proponent of liberty, and I saw that the privacy technology that was inherent in Zcash was wonderful.
Zero knowledge anonymity?
Yeah, well, zero knowledge proofs yeah. And they're able to essentially give you the ability to do private transactions or anonymous transactions still recorded on the blockchain. So I came at this from being a cryptocurrency miner. I got involved in mining both Zcash and Zclassic, and met Rob through the Zclassic community, which is a good, strong, thriving community of people that were privacy lovers. And we decided, we were talking about, okay, what are we going to do to incorporate some of these other great ideas from other cryptocurrencies, having a treasury, continuous development, going out and about and letting people know, building beautiful wallets, and then when inevitably the cryptocurrency gets very successful, and the people who were taking business away from banks and Western Union and folks like that start to attack our network, how do we make sure we keep the nodes up and running? So we put together me and Rob started talking and put together a plan for launching the cryptocurrency Zencash at the time, and now Horizen.
Because Zcash, which was again the first one that had the zero knowledge, didn't have any of that other stuff that you talked about. It was just, we got privacy, and that was it.
Right.
But, so you guys brought all these extra ideas to the table, and we were talking with, I forget who it was the other day, but Zencash now is the #1 most well-distributed, decentralized, more nodes, from the super nodes to the secure nodes, more than any other cryptocurrency out there. Am I right about that?
Yeah, that's right. And so when your wallet goes to send a transaction or receive a transaction, it actually over the internet needs to connect to a node. So you need to be able to connect to a node, and it's great to have them close by, fast, ready to service you. So by having over 22,000 nodes, which is what we have now distributed
around the globe,
around the globe, it's going to make sure that even if you're in a country that tries to block access to cryptocurrency, you should be able to access a Zen node and be able to complete your transactions. So reliability and security is part of the deal.
Right, and you've set it up so the people running the secure nodes and the super nodes get paid for that.
We do, and that keeps them incentivized to keep the system up and running.
Right.
It also distributes Zen to people all over the world, which then encourages them to create a Zen economy, which is another part of what we need to do. We can't just send crypto around and ask investors to invest in it and say, we're getting lots of crypto out there. We need to actually create alternative economies to the fiat currency if we can get people to buy and pay. And that's one of the reasons we got onto, I know a lot of your listeners are involved with AnyPay.
I was just about to ask you about that.
So we're on AnyPay. You can use Zen on that.
I love AnyPay, and I don't just say that because it's a great system. I happen to be the roommate of one of the founders in the past. Derek J. Freeman used to be one of the co-hosts here on Free Talk Live, used to live with me in Keene, and he's one of the AnyPay founders. And those guys, man, they've done such a great job creating a useful point of sale system. And we've certainly talked to our listeners about that when we brag about Keene and Portsmouth, New Hampshire being the capitals of the world as far as real-life cryptocurrency acceptance. It's because of those guys at AnyPay and what they've done. I mean, I've been telling people here at this conference, like, I can buy barbecue, I can buy, I can buy pizza, I can buy burgers, I can buy pipes and tobacco at the corner store. Before I came to this conference, I had my oil changed on my RAV4 at a auto facility that takes cryptocurrency. And all of these companies are using AnyPay, and now Zen is available as one of the cryptocurrencies in AnyPay.
Absolutely, and that's a part of the ecosystem equation, which is to get the vendors or the business people to accept it, but also to get a whole group of users to spend it. So right now you could, for example, on your mobile device, download the Koinomi wallet, put your Zen on that, and just scan and pay. It's really easy to do.
Now, of course, Koinomi is easy to use, and it's got a bunch of cryptos, but it doesn't allow you to use the privacy aspects of Zen.
It doesn't,
correct?
And so there's really no mobile wallet yet that has the ability to do privacy aspects of Zen or any others.
Are you guys working on that?
Yes, absolutely. So one of the things that we benefit from is the advances in the zero-knowledge proof technology, and we'll integrate that into our, that's why I'm so happy that over the period of time where we have this treasury, we now have about 50 people. We have a great team of developers, and they're able to continue to add new capabilities all the time. So I expect in about 6 to 12 months, you'll be able to have the shielded transactions, the private or anonymous transactions, native on a mobile wallet. I'm not sure which wallet that will be.
Right.
It'll be Koinomi or a different type of mobile wallet, but at that point, you'll be able to do the completely private or anonymous transactions from your mobile device in any payment that you do.
So cool. Now, I mentioned briefly that there was the rebranding. It used to be Zencash, now Horizen. Yes. The coin itself, the crypto, is still called Zen.
Yes.
But the idea was, well, this is a bigger vision than just a cryptocurrency, than just a private cryptocurrency, than having a bunch of nodes and all the great stuff you've already talked about. But there's more that you've got for the future. Right now, there's private chat that's available with the full node wallet.
It is.
But there's also, I've heard that you guys are talking about doing some kind of anonymity on the internet, like browsing.
Well, there is. So let me step through on how we're getting to that. So a few of the things that we want to make sure is to address any possible attack vector against the cryptocurrency. So part of that is we have to make sure that every aspect of it is decentralized and not capable of being attacked. So right now, for the nodes that we keep up and running, we pay them. That's on a centralized system. We need to move that to a decentralized system operated by the nodes themselves. The second thing that we need to do is the actual political control of what's going to happen with Horizen in the future. That needs to be moved to a voting system, and we're using a liquid democracy model. Liquid democracy is a little I'm not sure if you're familiar with it.
No.
It's so there's direct democracy. Everybody votes. Representative democracy, you vote for your representatives. Liquid democracy, you delegate your vote on different areas to people that are experts. So I'd encourage you to look up liquid democracy. It's a rather new concept in the last couple decades. But at that point, when we have those two major things running on our system, then we're completely decentralized. Now, in order to run those two things on the system, we don't want to put those in the main chain because our database would get too big. So we created something called sidechains. So sidechains is a more creative and faster running application environment that runs on our system. And we just released our sidechains white paper last week. and we're going to implement the Treasury and voting on it, or the secure node payments, and then we're going to open it up for other developers to do the types of third-party systems that you want to have no trusted third party on and be able to integrate zero-knowledge proofs. An example of that might be someone developing a VPN system that runs on our system that, again, incorporates the privacy and trustless nature of the cryptocurrency privacy platform that we are now.
That's amazing. I love where you guys are going with this, and there's constant development, and I hope that we get to continue to update our listeners on the future of what was Zencash is now Horizen, HORIZEN.global. Rolf, thanks for coming on Free Talk Live tonight.
Thanks, Ian. Appreciate it.
This is Free Talk Live from the Texas Big.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
The Liberty Dollar was so successful that the United States government had to take it down, and its founder, Bernard von Nothaus. Now Bernard's son Extra has launched Liberty Dollar 2. LD2 is a cryptocurrency, but each token is backed by the same gorgeous fine silver rounds that Liberty Dollar has always been known for. Your silver is secured in an audited vault and can be redeemed at any time. There's only a few thousand LD2 Zero tokens left in the crowd sale at ld2coin.io. Get yours. ld2coin.io.
By now you know that wireless technology like cell phones do in fact pose dangers to the health and privacy of everyone. Blockit Pocket's wide range of products are unmatched in providing the protection you deserve. No scare tactics, just common sense. BlockitPocket.com offers quality American-made options to alleviate and eliminate these invisible dangers. Learn more at BlockitPocket.com or call 888-315-9618. BlockitPocket.com, enhancing health and privacy.
The United States of Empire is a book that claims the United States is the empire of the world. George Washington had warned us against foreign wars. The United States of Empire shows that World Wars I and II left England broken. Its former colony, the U.S., had to save the empire. Was there ever a vote? Who do we fight for? The deep state began with World War I. The United States of Empire by James Dunn. Available at Amazon Books.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.fm now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at
This is Free Talk Live, and you can call in now by dialing toll-free 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. There's also the Discord call-in lines available at discord.lrn.fm, and we've actually got somebody in one of those that we'll get to in just a moment, and you can join us with whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Darryl,
Michael, Jackie,
and apparently there was a poll done, and we will get to the Discord line. Just want to sort of tease this. There was a poll done recently of likely voters and their thoughts on cryptocurrency as it relates to campaign finance. And, since Mark and Ian were at the Texas Bitcoin Conference, figure we can kind of keep the crypto discussion going a little bit and then change gears and talk about presidential downtime. How much of it do certain presidents take? And how much does the current president take? Let's go to the Discord where we've got E. Greg calling in. E. Greg, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hey everyone, this is Greg from New York, and this is my first time using Discord.
Excellent. You sound good. Go ahead.
So I'm the, resident socialist libertarian, and I wanted to talk about libertarian socialism.
All right.
As it pertains to, as it contrasts with capitalist libertarian. So I guess as a socialist libertarian, I favor things like open source, and things where it's not necessarily a lot of like John Galt's inventing things, and there's none of this. Well, why would they be motivated to invent if you cap their upside and you tax them and, with all these regulations? But instead, I'd like to see people adding things like on Wikipedia, everyone adding a little bit without the chilling effects of intellectual property lawsuits or anything like that. So that's what I want to see, a future of people contributing to movements and open source and science.
Hold on, Greg. I'm trying to figure out what makes you think that what you're talking about open source products separates what you describe as libertarian socialist from what you envision as. And I'm guessing by capitalist libertarian, you mean supporters of the free market, because the word capitalism has never actually meant free market, but in the minds of Rothbardians, it does.
Oh, yeah, I think I would rather use the words competition versus collaboration. So in a world of competition, you're going to have large privately held corporations like YouTube or Google, okay? And they can kick you off at any time. They can do whatever they want. On the other side, you have collaboration where you have unopinionated, benign tools like Linux or pretty much like WebKit browser, and they don't betray you. They don't suddenly switch things behind the scenes and suddenly you have a completely different product.
So my understanding is another left libertarian, but not one of the socialist libertarians, is that basically, where we differ from other libertarians is, what we consider to be property rights that are enforced by the government versus property rights that are more like natural rights. So it sounds like you're disagreeing that intellectual property is any kind of like natural or moral property right, and it only exists because the state grants, patents and trademarks and copyrights. Is that correct?
I would say the state is totally involved in enforcing intellectual property rights. But I would go even further and say that I would like to see less ownership of large property. Like nobody should a huge amount of property with the state or anyone using violence to exclude others from using it.
Working kind of getting back to what you were talking about, working around the existence of copyright law is the whole point of like GPL and
what is GPL?
BSD license, GNU public license. It's basically a copyleft. It basically the basic idea behind it is that you can redistribute the source code of a program, and you cannot take away anyone's right to
So it sounds like Creative Commons,
it's very
but
similar
for
to
software.
Creative Commons, but for software.
All right. I'm a huge fan of Creative Commons. I'm a huge fan of open source things. That's why I'm kind of confused.
And I've contributed to a whole bunch of different open source projects, even Bitcoin itself. So
right. That's why I was confused when Greg was saying, contrasting what he sees as libertarian socialist versus the free market libertarian.
Yeah, I didn't know where open source fits into that distinction.
Yeah, I think what it is that there's a few issues under which people who otherwise agree on most things that are considered libertarian positions disagree. And with regards to property rights, one of them is what can be property. And so there's some libertarians that believe ideas can be property and other libertarians that believe that it can't. Going further into libertarian socialism, there's some libertarians who believe that land can be property and other libertarians who believe that it cannot. So ultimately, we all agree that we should have property rights, but we disagree over what we consider is possible to be property and to be owned by an individual or by a business.
I mean, it's sort of it's an attitude that you have towards how much can you own. Can I own the entire Lake Ontario or Erie? If I'm able to own it, can I then do anything with it? So a left libertarian would say, no, you can't own that much property because you're one human being and people should be free from your tyranny, over this lake. And someone who's a capitalist libertarian would say, of course, you can own Disney World and you can just call the shots in Disney World. Here is the next town over is a democratically run town. Well, that's illegitimate because, whatever. But Disney World is owned, and that makes it suddenly okay for Disney to do pretty much whatever it wants in that town. So and to me, there's no difference between those two towns.
So you're basically looking at, private corporation, who the shareholders elect to the board and who they decide to hire to run things versus a town where the citizens decide who they're going to elect to the city council and the city council decides who they're going to run things. And you're asking, well, what really fundamentally is the difference between those two, especially when they're controlling a territory like Disneyland versus a town?
Exactly. To me, they're just a smaller version of a government. Actually, they're not smaller. They're pretty much the same size. A town could be smaller and run by its citizens. So to me, the governance structure is not the issue for me. How much one individual can exclude others from a lake or a land or anything like that. And I think there should be limits. I don't think one individual should have, I don't think 8 people in the world should have the wealth of half the world, the other half of the world.
And that's one of the things that I find interesting. So I assume you're familiar with or probably a member of the Libertarian Socialist Caucus of the Libertarian Party. And I found it interesting that, when there's controversy about their formation and their activities and the candidate that they ran for national chair of the Libertarian Party this year, a lot of the people who were freaking out about them were anarchists. And it's like, who do you think is actually enforcing the property rights over land that the libertarian socialists are objecting to? It's the state. So I never really understood how there were all these anarchists thinking like all this private ownership of large amounts of land that they were not actively using or maintaining was going to exist if there was suddenly no state.
Exactly. And I just want to point out that the founders of, for example, the open source movement, I'm not that philosophical, but Richard Stallman, who started the free software movement, he's on the left and he often critiques libertarians. And John Locke, who lived many years, centuries ago, where the concept of homesteading that anarcho-capitalists use came from him. But he said, if you read his work, that one man who owns so much land that he allows vegetables to rot in the field, he's misusing the land and he shouldn't actually be in charge of that much land. That was John Locke.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally a left libertarian and a Georgist. I'm not so far as a libertarian socialist because my understanding is they're basically mostly anarcho-communists, whereas I'm a minarchist because I do think private ownership of land is the most effective and efficient way to do it. So then I'm a Georgist because I think, well, if the government's enforcing your private ownership of land, you should be paying for that. But yeah, a lot of people go back to the basic, John Locke argument of how one morally obtains private ownership of a resource that you could argue should be common to everyone, the earth. And the Lockean proviso even says you can only do so, quote, at least where there is enough and as good left in common for others. So now that we live hundreds of years later, we, the whole world is owned at this point.
Greg, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450 free. 855-450-3733, plus those Discord call-in lines available at discord.lrn.fm.
Marijuana has unleashed a green gold rush across our nation. It's creating $10.8 billion in new wealth a year. And every day, it's transforming more and more Americans into millionaires. In an historic event, former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how you could become one of them. Join him online for the American Cannabis Summit. Attendance is 100% free, but space is limited. To secure your spot, text JOIN to 44055. This event is the first of its kind ever. John Boehner and an esteemed panel will reveal which cannabis stocks are primed to deliver life-changing windfalls in the weeks and months ahead. Plus, they will show you how to become a cannabis angel investor, backing the hottest startups before they potentially become worth billions of dollars. To join American Cannabis Summit, text JOIN to 44055. Attendance is free. Text JOIN to 44055.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Monday, October 29th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.69 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,231 per ounce. Zen is trading at $14, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,331. Antiwar.com reports heavy fighting over the weekend in Syria's Deir ez-Zor province has left at least 40 fighters from the U.S.-backed Kurdish forces dead and an unknown number of them captured by the Islamic State. The Islamic State has also recaptured some territory previously lost in the fighting. This was a continuation of a counterattack launched by the Islamic State in response to several offensives by the Kurdish YPG against their last 2 towns in a remote border region. The goal appears to have been to stop some advancing Kurdish forces and to retake some lost land in the area. U.S. officials downplayed the seriousness of the losses, saying the Islamic State took advantage of a sandstorm and that both sides had taken massive numbers of casualties. The U.S. also intends to increase airstrikes against the Islamic State. The Islamic State has regularly taken advantage of difficult terrain and the weather in the area to counterattack when U.S. air support is not available. On the ground, the Kurdish forces appear to struggle to make any gains. Zencash has changed their name to Horizen to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They are working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizen platform. The unique spelling of Horizen is a nod to their heritage and recognizes that they remain committed to the vision that their project was built upon. Their coin and ticker symbol remain ZEN. Learn more at horizen.global and join the Horizen community. HORIZEN.global. Reuters reports the rabbis of the Pittsburgh synagogue, where a gunman massacred 11 worshipers during Sabbath prayers, urged mourners at an interfaith memorial service on Sunday to embrace tolerance and unity, while the mayor vowed to defeat hate with love. Themes of inclusion and compassion dominated the speeches delivered to an overflow crowd of some 2,500 people at the University of Pittsburgh Soldiers and Sailors Hall, as speakers decried the rise of toxic political discourse, widely seen as creating an atmosphere conducive to violence. Tree of Life Rabbi Jeffrey Myers elicited shouts of "vote" from the audience as he called on political leaders, starting with those in this room, to help put an end to hate speech. He said from the stage, "My words are not intended as political. My mother always taught me that if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it." The Stronger Together service opened with a performance by a Baptist gospel choir and included remarks by Christian and Muslim clergy, but it was largely led by Myers and two fellow rabbis representing the three Jewish congregations who used the synagogue targeted in Saturday's carnage. Rabbi Jonathan Perlman said while choking back tears, "What happened yesterday will not break us. It will not ruin us. We will continue to thrive and sing and worship and lead together and continue our historic legacy in this city with the friendliest people I know." 3 members of his congregation were among those killed when a man armed with an assault rifle and 3 handguns on Saturday stormed the Tree of Life Temple in the city's heavily Jewish Squirrel Hill neighborhood, yelling, "All Jews must die," as he opened fire on worshipers. In addition to the 11 mostly elderly victims who were killed, 6 people, including 4 police officers, were wounded before the suspect was arrested. 2 of the surviving victims remain hospitalized in critical condition. Robert Bowers, who has a history of posting anti-Semitic messages online, has been charged under federal hate crime statutes and could face the death penalty if convicted. The mass shooting sparked security alerts at houses of worship around the country and condemnation from politicians and religious leaders. Some complain that the confrontational nationalistic rhetoric of President Donald Trump has encouraged right-wing extremists and fed a surge of activity by hate groups. Trump, who quickly branded Saturday's shooting as a pure act of evil and called on Americans to rise above hatred, was already facing similar criticisms ahead of congressional elections following pipe bombs mailed last week to some of his most prominent critics. Trump told reporters that killings might have been prevented if there had been an armed guard. Synagogue officials said police would normally only have been present for security on high holidays. Are you an advocate for free market money? Do you promote Bitcoin as an alternative in a fiat-centric world? Then you need Spend-A-Bit in your arsenal, the search engine for things you can buy with Bitcoin. Spend-A-Bit aggregates millions of products from thousands of Bitcoin-enabled merchants. Keep your money in the free economy. Visit spendabit.co today. Bitcoin merchants, ask about our merchant suite to reach even more customers. Spendabit.co. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Now Facebook is rolling out their newest feature, LifePoint, which analyzes users' histories to determine exactly when things went wrong. The new feature combs through photos, status updates, likes, everything that you put on Facebook in order to pinpoint how someone irreparably ruined their life. For example, it might highlight your friend's spring break trip in 2003 when she took her first shot, or your cousin's engagement to a guy named Scott spelled with a K.
So, Facebook must have a lot of depressing information to work with. Well, we look for sadness indicators, positive versus negative adjectives and status updates, whether you've liked a corporate entity such as Walmart or Arby's.
One of LifePoint's most buzzed about features is the Life Compare function, which lets you see how your mistakes stack up to others.
Here, I'm overlaying my graph with a graph of a childhood friend. You can see his life ended up much worse than mine, which is great.
Anything with a profile has a LifePoint, so you can look forward to finding out when your favorite bands, TV shows, and companies started going downhill.
This is the Onion News Network.
This is Free Talk Live, kicking off our number 3. You can call in and join us with whatever is on your mind. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The us in studio tonight is Darryl,
Michael,
and Jackie.
And as I mentioned in the last hour, there was a recent survey that was done by a company called Clover. Not one that I am familiar with, but they have a fairly good write-up about the survey that they did, the methodology behind it, and the responses that they received. So what they did was to gauge interest in the support of cryptocurrencies in politics. They wound up surveying 1,023 registered voters in the U.S. to take a survey. And what they found was that 60% of eligible voters believed it should be legal in the United States to donate cryptocurrency in federal elections under the same rules that apply to donations in U.S. dollars. And what's interesting here is that while the FEC, the Federal Election Commission, does have a rule on the acceptance of cryptocurrency in federal elections, cryptocurrency is not treated the same as U.S. dollars. It's not even treated the same as any other in-kind contribution, which is what the FEC considers cryptocurrency to be. And I'm glad that Clover included this information in their write-up here. They say in 2014, the FEC, that's the governing body that oversees campaigns for federal offices such as president and House, issued a ruling stating that Bitcoin, the first and arguably most popular form of cryptocurrency, could be accepted as an in-kind contribution with a limit of $100.
What?
Yes. So if you want to donate some cryptocurrency to a political candidate for president or U.S. House or U.S. Senate, you can only donate $100 to them in cryptocurrency. And then there's a lot of bookkeeping trickery that they have to do to where they accept it as an in-kind contribution. They can hold on to it for as long as they want to, but then when they're ready to spend it, they have to convert it to U.S. dollars and then spend the U.S. dollars. So cryptocurrency is treated as a completely different type of thing in accordance with federal election law. And this survey, again, found that 60% of voters believe that it should be treated the same as U.S. dollars. They mention here that there was a ruling explaining the value of the contribution is based on the market value of Bitcoin at the time of the contribution. So again,
right,
if you donate $99 and then it goes up in value, then that would just somehow be a bookkeeping trick of sorts to say, well, the in-kind contribution we received has increased in value. And then they mention here that several states are considering whether to accept one of the 2,216 and growing cryptocurrencies on the market today. From a political perspective, the overriding issue of cryptocurrency acceptance are the same as the federal government and private sectors are still wrestling with, namely value and security. Another point voters agree on is that cryptocurrencies and traditional currencies, such as the U.S. dollar, should be treated equally. Skipping down, it says some states have campaign finance laws that are the same as the federal statutes. However, there are some differences. Some states allow candidates to accept money from corporations. Others do not. Only 2 states, Tennessee and Virginia, have seriously considered legislation that allows donors to use digital currencies. Tennessee is the only state to enact legislation, and the language in the statute is somewhat vague. Delegates in Virginia have considered legislation. However, the bill has not yet passed or been signed by the governor. Now, one thing that isn't mentioned here is some states, like New Hampshire, they don't even mention it in the statute, but we have a lot of candidates running for various offices that are accepting
cryptocurrency.
it.
Right.
Yeah.
Going back several years.
As far as I'm aware, the candidates in New Hampshire that are accepting cryptocurrencies for their campaigns are treating it as if it was any other kind of contribution, be it U.S. dollars, gold, silver, anything of that sort.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert on campaign finance law, but how do they treat contributions made in foreign currencies like euros to U.S. candidates if they came from a U.S. citizen, but the U.S. citizen happened to be contributing like pounds or euros or whatever?
Has that ever happened?
I'm pretty sure, like,
probably
everything's happened at
has.
some point. Like, here, I have, this leftover cash from my trip to Europe, and I'll give it to you to your campaign, because they don't want to go to the, currency
Right.
exchange desk and exchange it. So I'm sure it's happened. How has that been treated? Because I would think the legal precedent would be to treat it like a foreign currency, because it's basically another currency
Right,
that's
and
not
then just
issued.
figure out whatever the exchange rate is on the day that you received it, I guess.
I mean, so whatever the treatment is of that, and if that's prohibited, which I don't think it should be, then I would think crypto would be prohibited in the same way. If it's not prohibited, then I would think it would be handled the same as if somebody handed you a stack of euros.
Right. And then the real question would be, is there a limit on the amount of euros that somebody could hand you?
I would assume it'd be whatever the exchange rate,
right.
the U.S.
So it would be the U.S. dollar amount.
Yeah.
In theory, it wouldn't be some sort of arbitrary limit with Bitcoin. They just say, it's an in-kind contribution, but you can only accept $100. I don't know of any other in-kind contribution where they put a limit.
Yeah, that's definitely ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's one of these things to where they're just, creating up regulations as they go along and hoping that people try to follow it. Continuing on, they've actually got a couple of interesting questions here. Is cryptocurrency secure enough to be used for political purposes? 54% of voters said yes. And that includes a majority of Republicans, 63%, a majority of Democrats, 52%, and a plurality of independent voters, 45%. Also, 73% of people who reported being extremely familiar with cryptocurrency believed that it was secure enough for political purposes. And I would say it's at least as secure as any government fiat currency. The survey also says that independent and libertarian-minded voters at times appear more progressive or open to new ideas and concepts than their Democratic and Republican counterparts. However, many state governments have jumped on the bandwagon of digital currencies. There are several reasons why state governments are hesitant to adopt cryptocurrency donations, but the two major ones are the validity of cryptocurrency and the anonymity of the donor, one of the hallmarks of blockchain technology. A ruling by the Kansas Governmental Ethics Commission in October 2017 is an excellent example of why most states remain leery of digital currencies. And of course, they link over to it, but they don't give any kind of quotes from it.
So the, anonymity of cryptocurrency I can see as an issue, because you do want to know, I know you have specific objections to the FEC personally, but
yes.
The way that campaign finance works is we want to know where donations are coming from, whom they're coming from, where they work for, where they live. Right now, you just collect that information when somebody writes you a check or makes a credit card donation or donates cash. I don't know if that's audited in any way. So if I come to your campaign event and hand you, $50 in cash and fill out a little form saying, I'm Jane Doe at 123 Main Street or whatever, and does anybody ever actually check?
No, they just assume you're a Russian bot.
No, I mean, the thing is I've definitely, worked on campaigns for sure. We took campaign donations in cash and they filled out the paperwork, but I don't think that's ever audited where that comes from.
Yeah, that is a really good question. And then the next question is, who has time to do all of the auditing? Is there somebody that would have time to go through every finance report? Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Ike was such a sweet, lovable animal, and people would want to pet him, and they'd come up, and they'd get close to him, and it would be this instant, my dad didn't want to touch him. It's like, ooh, get the stinky dog away from me.
Even after we'd give her a bath, she would still stink.
Very stinky, both bad breath and bad gas. I asked the vet, and he said some dogs are just stinky.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
The ingredients convinced me that it was definitely worth trying. After about a week, he started smelling normal. My husband and I were really kind of astonished.
Dinovite is nutrition.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Your property and your family are precious. Protect them with Blink. Blink motion-activated HD cameras are wire-free, set up fast, and their batteries last up to 2 years. And Blink's live feed option lets you monitor what's happening in your home anytime, anywhere. No contracts, no subscriptions, and Blink works with Alexa. You can get 3 Blink cameras for way less than the other guys, plus an extra 15% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. Blink is an Amazon company.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
The Onion looks back at this week in history. On May 6, 1937, the explosion of the German passenger ship Hindenburg brought cheer to an entire generation of Americans in the midst of the Great Depression. The souls of the American people were fleetingly revitalized by the flame-engulfed Zeppelin and the shrill screams of burning passengers leaping to their heartwarming deaths.
Oh my, it's burst into flames! The burning embers and charred flesh are cascading splendidly onto the mooring mast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most terrific thing I've ever seen. Oh, the luminosity, the gaiety!
And on May 7th, 2000, Vladimir Putin became president of Russia after promising citizens he could bend anything they gave him with just his bare hands. And that was what happened this week in history. In the words of the Italian philosopher Niccolò Machiavelli, whoever wants to foresee the future must first look at the past and then imagine all that old stuff looking more future-y and space-like.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's how you can call in and join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. We're talking about some survey results that were done, or rather that were released recently, about cryptocurrencies in politics and how cryptocurrencies are treated differently than official government currencies. We'll get back to that and your phone calls, but want to make sure that you know about Freedom's Phoenix. Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. They have the newest, freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty. Their daily dispatch is one of the best ways to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. That's freedoms with an S, phoenix.com, freedomsphoenix.com. Let's go to the Discord call-in line where we've got Free Market Penguin calling in. Free Market Penguin, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hey, yeah, this is your man Free Market Penguin calling from Virginia. I caught a tiny bit of the like around 8:50 when you guys were talking about Eastern time, when you were talking about government and the state. Just caught a glimpse of it, but it reminded me I need to call in today. And I too, I understand and like the function and the function and structure of government. I mean, governance is an important thing. Any company, any organization of any sort has a government. Even in an anarchist non-system, any kind of organized community, municipality, any kind of city, anything that requires some kind of organization and order is going to require some form of governance. And what libertarians will object to, of course, is the state. The state being defined as the organization with that claims the monopoly of use of force. And the issue with the importance of anarchism is that I've yet to really see, given a progression of time, obviously given an infinite amount of time, any system that's really going to be self-limiting and foolproof. And it's not going to be able to be foolproof, self-limiting. And that's why I hesitate to accept the kind of state. I'm not a hard anarchist where I just anytime any mention of a state, any idea of a state, I can certainly work within a system. But a government and governance is absolutely necessary for human society. But
all right, well, let me sort of turn this back a little bit. You said that, and correct me if I misheard. You said that you don't see how a stateless society would wind up being able to stay a stateless society. Is that basically what you said?
No, I'm actually saying the opposite. I don't see how a state of any type could form under that definition of a state that could be formed, that could be inherently self-limiting over infinite amount of time.
I think Jefferson said something about that. What was the quote? I'm paraphrasing,
he
but
had a bunch of different quotes about needing a revolution of some sort every generation or so.
The tendency is for governments to expand and liberty to give ground, something like that.
This isn't unique to government, though. Like, nothing stays the same over hundreds of years.
Right.
Like, no institutions, whether they're governments or voluntary organizations, stay unchanging for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Well, there's the Catholic Church.
No, the Catholic Church has changed a lot. Like, priests used to be able to get married. They've gone through and edited, like, what parts of the Bible they consider legitimate. They used to never do any kind of services in the vernacular. Like, the Catholic Church has changed a ton over the last 1,000+ years. There were multiple years. There were multiple popes at the same time fighting over who was the real pope. Like, there's been big changes in the Catholic Church.
But the difference is the government set up by that was set up by the Constitution of whenever it was 1780, whatever. The government was, or 90s, I'm not sure. But the Constitution was a pretty damn good attempt at creating a self-limiting system, obviously revolutionary in its time. But of course, the founding fathers didn't. Many of them, Jefferson included, didn't think that this system or this Constitution wouldn't need to be constantly revised in a way a lot more than it is. And it's just really that the constitutional Republican system that we have is, protects the status quo a lot more than I think many of the founding fathers, I think Jefferson included, intended.
Well, I think any kind of, government that has a constitution, or even those like the United Kingdom where they don't actually have a written constitution, it's just, a bunch of common law. It's designed to sort of protect the status quo. Free Market Penguin, thank you for the call. Let's go to the phones where we've got Sarah calling in from New Mexico. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, I'm really beginning to wonder, is there a real reason? There has to be a reason where people have strong feelings about anti-Semitism, or they want to shoot all the Jewish people. I mean, why is there so much anti-Semitism from like even 300 years ago? Or they all have to get run out of Russia. They all have to flee Spain and come to New Mexico. I mean, and they get run out of Poland too. But what are they doing? I'm really wondering. It's just, do you think there's a real reason behind it?
Well, there are some crazy people that make up all kinds of theories about certain people that control everything and are secretly in charge of something. And, as I see it, the people that really hate the Jews, they're bigots, and they hide their bigotry behind some kind of
conspiracy
thing that is, supposedly some, one world government something, while also like some kind of scare tactic of, well, if we don't do something. And you mentioned, Jews being run out of Poland. That was Hitler. Hitler did that.
And also this kind of persecution is not unique to Jewish people throughout all history and all the world. Like everywhere in the world, there's minority ethnic groups or religious groups or cultural groups that are persecuted and run out or forcibly relocated. We just hear about anti-Semitism because that is the group that we're most familiar with experiencing this kind of persecution in like modern Western society. But I mean, Africa has got
going on all over the place.
Like Africa's
the Rwandan
got
genocide.
Exactly. Like they had, one tribe got on the radio and told people to go out and get the other one. It's happened throughout history with minority religious groups and ethnic groups. So we just hear about anti-Semitism because, in the United States and Western Europe and all the people who can speak English to us, that's the group that has experienced it the most and the most recently. But it's not unique to them at all.
But you know what? We hear about them most because they wind up having a lot of power as that group, and they have a lot of money. And
do they really?
What they're saying is that.
Hold on. So are you now perpetuating the conspiracy theories, Sarah? Thank you for the call, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, she called in to ask a question. We gave an answer, and then she's like, no, here's the real reason.
I mean, you have people just living their lives, and people like that come along and say, oh, they must be ruling the world or whatever.
855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the purest for you and your family. For over 14 years, thousands have depended on Berkey Clean Water. The Berkey guy has you covered at home, work, and on the go. With water filtration systems of every size for every budget. Now GCN listeners receive 10% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN at goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. Goberkey.com.
What if there was a social media network only for the conservative?
What if there was a social media network not only for the conservative right general public, but also a platform for conservative politicians and advertisers?
And what if this social media network was the only free speech network in existence?
There is. It's rightsocial.net.
Rightsocial.net, a response to President Donald Trump's direct presidential order.
Rightsocial.net, where you have the right to freely speak your mind.
Rightsocial.net, the right place to be.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Phone records, financial and location data, Prism, Tempora, X-Keyscore, Boundless Informant. Hey y'all, Scott Horton here for offnow.org. Now here's the deal. Due to the Snowden revelations, we have a great opportunity for a short period of time to get some real rollback of the national surveillance state. Now they're already trying to tire us by introducing fake reforms in the Congress. And the courts, they betrayed their sworn oaths to the Constitution and Bill of Rights again and again, and can in no way be trusted to stop the abuses for us. We've got to do it ourselves. How? We nullify it at the state level. It's still not easy, but the Off Now project of the 10th Amendment Center has gotten off to a great start. I mean it. There's real reason to be optimistic here. They've gotten their model legislation introduced all over the place, in state after state. I've lost count, more than a dozen. You're always wondering, yeah, but what can we do? Here's something important, something that can work if we do the work. Get started cutting off the NSA support in your state. Go to offnow.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That is how you can call in and join us with whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Darryl,
Michael,
and Jackie.
And we'll get into this Donald Trump story where apparently he has scheduled way more executive time than he has scheduled work time. Story from Politico says Donald Trump had about 3 times as much free time planned for last Tuesday as work time, according to his private schedule. The president was slated for more than 9 hours of, quote, executive time, a euphemism for the unstructured time that Trump spends tweeting, phoning friends, and watching television. Official meetings, policy briefings, and public appearances, typically the daily work of being president, consumed barely 3 hours of his day. The president was also slated to spend 30 minutes on the phone with CEOs and make brief remarks at a state leadership conference. He was briefed by senior military leaders in the evening and joined them for dinner. Aside from an 11:30 a.m. meeting with White House Chief of Staff John Kelly, his first commitment of the day, the rest of his day was unstructured, some in blocks as long as 2 hours, 45 minutes.
So we know from previous things, a big chunk of that is he spends all morning watching Fox and Friends, to the point of which White House staffers who want to get something onto his agenda will coordinate with the producers of Fox and Friends to try and arrange for specific guests to come on the show. Like, that's been exposed previously. Yeah, they have to go through back channels to get things onto the president's agenda through the TV show that he watches all morning long, pretty much every day.
Now, I did hear something a while back that apparently in the briefings that he receives, several White House staff members speaking on the condition of anonymity said he likes hearing his name, so we have to put his name in the briefings a lot so that he keeps paying attention.
Yeah, there was even a thing recently where they were talking about how he was having all these conversations with, people in the media business, whatnot, on his personal cell phone because he didn't want to have it logged through the White House switchboard, talking about various things, which is basically what he and his supporters thought Hillary Clinton should be locked up for, using a personal email server to discuss sensitive information.
Right.
But a lot of the sources who reported this said it's okay. He doesn't pay close enough attention in the intelligence briefings to know anything that he could be giving away in these conversations.
And apparently the National Archives has had to hire people to go behind Donald Trump to tape papers back together, because part of his
process
process over however many years of being a businessman, and I'm using air quotes there, when he's done with a task that's written on paper, he rips the paper into small pieces.
It's not just that. If he doesn't like a report or a document he's been given, he tears it up like a toddler. But I would say the whole upside of this long executive time versus small amount of work time is like, isn't it really for the best? Like, do we really want him working more hours, doing more of whatever it is that he wants to do? Like, I'm pretty unhappy with most of what Trump does. So if he would just like to do all executive time all the time,
just like to go on vacation until the end of his term.
Yeah, if he just wants to go, golf for another 2 years, I would be fine with that.
Yeah, and I'll say one more thing here. A lot of people give Congress a hard time because, they had a week and a half of vacation. Well, no, they should really only be in session for a tenth of the time that they're actually in session.
Yeah, a few weeks.
Yeah,
not this whole year thing.
3 weeks maybe instead of 280 days of actually being
Which
in
is what
session?
they used to do before they invented air conditioning, because it was just too hot in Washington, D.C.
Yeah, there's more from this article that we'll get into, but first to the phones. We've got Anonymous calling in from Arizona. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thought.
Are you there?
Go ahead, Anonymous. You're on the
air.
Go ahead with your thought.
I have read a book years and years ago. I don't know who the author is. Entitled something about the drama of the lost disciples. I think it has to do with the beginning of the Anglican Church. In that book, and it's been many years, probably 25, 30 years since I've read it, that it talked about Jeremiah leaving.
And Anonymous, can you speak up a little bit more? We're having trouble hearing you, and I've got you turned up as far as I can on the board here.
I don't know. I have poor quality on my audio for my phone, but is that any better?
You sound much
a little
better
bit.
now.
Go ahead.
Do I need to restart over?
No, go ahead with wherever you were in your thought. Something about you picked up a book, you don't remember the name of it, and you think it was talking about some Anglicans.
The Drama of the Lost Disciples by George F. Jowett. I just looked it up.
Right.
And it's
trying to
sounds right.
Yeah, it's trying to tie Joseph of, I don't know how to pronounce this, Arimathea. The apostles Mary and Jesus, and says they somehow made their way to the British Isles. Does that sound familiar? Okay. Is that what you remember reading? Okay.
All right. What about it?
In that book, it spoke about the Jews, the Ashkenazi Jews, and other Jews, if I recall correctly. And the dispute seems to be that the people that are in Israel right now are people that have mixed their race with other races enough to where they're not the true, pure bloodline of Judah. And the true Jews are not in that area. They are.
I've heard people, purporting this basically conspiracy theory thing, but what difference does it really make?
Yeah, what does bloodline have to do with anything?
There was a lot of controversy today, even on your own podcast, the Tim Floyd I listen to, and different things about this shooting and how people are persecuting the Jews. Who are the true Jews?
Okay, well, it's
the royal families of the European nations.
I agree that it can be a little confusing because it is used both to refer to an ethnic background and also a religion.
Yes.
I don't think most of the white supremacists and other anti-Semitics who are attacking them really are delving that much into the differences. Like, they just have a group that they've othered and want to blame for things in their conspiracy theories. and want to attack them.
Right, they make a convenient scapegoat.
Right, and it sounds like you're trying to perpetuate some of these weird othering conspiracy theories. Thank you for the call.
So I pulled this book up on rationalwiki.org, and just one thing kind of summarizes the whole book. The content is dubious, ranging from entirely speculative, misquotes, unsourced assertions, to claims that are outright lies.
Yeah, that could be said of a bunch of books that are, Dan Brown's thing that a bunch of people wound up taking as some kind of historical truth.
Yeah, and unfortunately, a lot of times when people write historical fiction that has any kind of religious or conspiracy tie-in theme, it's a novel. It's a well-researched and interesting novel, but people somehow think it's like the real history of something. People get very easily confused.
People want to believe something other than, quote, what they've been told.
That's not too far off from thinking Dan Brown's books are historically accurate.
That's
because people want to believe. There's got to be there's that TV show that says the truth is out there, and I know that I'll just find it eventually.
There's enough real stuff in there that the rest of it sounds plausible.
The Louvre is a real place. The Mona Lisa is a real thing. So Thomas Jefferson must have wrote the Declaration of Independence on the back of the Louvre, or something. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Plus, we've got the Discord call-in lines available at discord.lrn.fm. This is Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops. Get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
The Liberty Dollar was so successful that the United States government had to take it down, and its founder, Bernard von Nothaus. Now Bernard's son Extra has launched Liberty Dollar 2. LD2 is a cryptocurrency, but each token is backed by the same gorgeous fine silver rounds that Liberty Dollar has always been known for. Your silver is secured in an audited vault and can be redeemed at any time. There's only a few thousand LD2 Zero tokens left in the crowd sale at ld2coin.io. Get yours. ld2coin.io.
Marijuana has unleashed a green gold rush across our nation. It's creating $10.8 billion in new wealth a year. And every day, it's transforming more and more Americans into millionaires. In an historic event, former Speaker of the House John Boehner reveals how you could become one of them. Join him online for the American Cannabis Summit. Attendance is 100% free, but space is limited. To secure your spot, text JOIN to 44055. This event is the first of its kind ever. John Boehner and an esteemed panel will reveal which cannabis stocks are primed to deliver life-changing windfalls in the weeks and months ahead. Plus, they will show you how to become a cannabis angel investor, backing the hottest startups before they potentially become worth billions of dollars. To join American Cannabis Summit, text JOIN to 44055. Attendance is free. Text JOIN to 44055.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Possibly time for you and your thoughts if you call in now to 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. Want to tell you about Liberty Dollar 2. They recently released their limited LD2 Zero token, and Free Talk Live is giving away 10 of them. That's a $350 value. Each LD2 Zero token is backed by an ounce of silver. It's a gorgeous .999 fine silver round, just like what Liberty Dollar was famous for. To enter, send an email to contest@freetalklive.com. And then in the subject line, make sure you put LD2 and then include a number between 1 and 1,000. Again, to enter, send an email to contest@freetalklive.com. Subject line must have LD2. And then, either in the subject line or in the body of the email, put a number between 1 and 1,000. Liberty Dollar 2, if you win, will help you set up a wallet to receive your prize. The winner will be selected on November 5th, and in the event of a tie, the prize will be split. You can learn more about Liberty Dollar Liberty Dollar 2 at ld2coin.io. That's ld2coin.io. In studio tonight, it's Darryl,
Michael,
and Jackie.
And next week, there's an election. And Reason has an article about the 4 states that could legalize medical or recreational cannabis next week. In an interview with Roll Call, Senator Cory Gardner of Colorado described Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's dismay upon hearing that voters in Utah seem set to approve medical marijuana when they go to the polls. Gardner says, quote, "I said that even Utah is most likely going to legalize medical marijuana this year." McConnell looks and he goes, "Utah?" He had a terrified look. And he says that Orrin Hatch walks up and Mitch looks at Orrin and says, "Orrin, is Utah really going to legalize marijuana?" Orrin Hatch folds his hands, looks down at his feet, and says, "First tea, then coffee, now this." Yeah. Notwithstanding opposition from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, polls indicate that nearly 2/3 of Utah voters think patients should be able to use cannabis if their doctors recommend it. Prospects for medical marijuana look dimmer in Missouri, where surveys indicate weaker public support, and voters will face a potentially confusing choice of 3 separate initiatives on the subject. It seems even less likely that North Dakota voters, who just 2 years ago approved medical marijuana by a surprisingly large margin, are ready to legalize for recreational use. But recreational legalization seems to have a pretty good shot in Michigan. Proposal 1 in Michigan would allow adults 21 and older to possess 2.5 ounces or less of cannabis in public, transfer that amount to other adults, quote, without remuneration, possess up to 10 ounces at home, and grow up to 12 plants for personal consumption.
It's a start.
The initiative would also establish a licensing system for commercial production and distribution, subject to a 10% tax on retail sales. Support for Proposal 1 has 54%, or rather it's averaging 54% in 6 polls conducted from late February to early October. A solid majority of Michigan voters, 63%, approved medical marijuana in 2008. If they take this further step, Michigan will be the first state in the Midwest to legalize cannabis for recreational use, joining 9 states in the West and Northeast. Next, Reason looks at North Dakota. They say Measure 3 would go further than any initiative enacted so far by removing marijuana from the state's list of prohibited substances and thereby legalizing any nonviolent marijuana activity except the sale of marijuana to a person under the age of 21. Possession of cannabis by minors would be treated the same as possession of alcohol. The North Dakota initiative is also unique in requiring, quote, automatic expungement of the record of an individual who has a drug conviction for a controlled substance that has been legalized.
That's excellent.
So far, California is the only state to approve a legalization initiative that addressed the lingering collateral consequences of cannabis convictions, and even that measure put the onus on the victim of prohibition to seek expungement or resentencing, although a law enacted last month will make the process easier. North Dakota voters approved medical cannabis by a 28% margin in 2016, but they don't seem inclined to endorse the wholesale legalization. The article here from Reason says surveys conducted in February and again in August put support for legalizing recreational use at 46% and 38% respectively. So from February to August, support actually went down. Utah, again, yes, Utah, where first tea, then coffee, now this. Proposition 2 would authorize the production and distribution of cannabis for medical use by patients with any of the 10 qualifying conditions and recommendation from a doctor. As of 2021, state-approved patients would be allowed to grow up to 6 plants at home if they do not live within 100 miles of a licensed dispensary. Support for Prop 2 averaged 68% in 9 polls conducted from mid-February to mid-October, even though the Church of Latter-day Saints joined the coalition opposing the initiative. 2 polls put support at 64%, while a third found 74% of voters favored the measure. If voters do approve Proposition 2, Utah will join 31 states that have legalized cannabis for for medical purposes. The most recent addition to that list was another conservative state, Oklahoma, where an initiative passed in June during their primary. In Missouri, again, they have 3 ballot measures. Amendment 2, Amendment 3, and Proposition C would all authorize production and distribution of cannabis for medical use by patients with qualifying conditions and recommendations from their doctor. The measures differ mainly in the way they define qualifying condition, the maximum amounts they would allow patients to purchase and possess, their treatment of home cultivation, the tax rates they would set, the purpose for which they would earmark the revenue, the limits they would impose on the number of dispensaries, and the power they would give local governments to ban them.
So what happens if 2 or more of these pass?
They don't specify here in this Reason article, but as I understand it, there are processes or there are rules in place for what happens in such a situation. Some states would say whichever had the most votes would be the one to take effect. Other states would wind up sending it to some committee to try to, sort of like hash out, all right, let's merge these 2 things.
So like reconciliation between a House version of a bill and a Senate version of a bill?
Yes. And again, I don't know exactly how that would happen, and I don't know if that's the case in Missouri. But I wonder if this is one of the situations to where maybe some of the opponents of medical cannabis voted for some of these things to be on the ballot for the purpose of confusing voters. Because,
I would believe it.
If we just overwhelm them, you've got 3 choices here. All of them basically do the same thing with minor differences, and then voters just wind up getting confused and, I'm just going to vote no on all of them.
How do these get on the ballot in Missouri? Is it like a ballot initiative started by the voters where they gather signatures, or is it something that was referred to the ballot by the legislature? I'm not familiar with Missouri's
There are
Referendum
three
process.
of them. So there's two that are amendments and one is a proposition. Looking at the things that Reason linked to all of these, it appears as though all of these wound up getting put on by the voters.
Okay, yeah, so that also could just be disorganization amongst the legalization community, because there's different groups, and we all know how groups can split into other groups, each trying to achieve the same goal in different ways.
Right. Now, the article actually does say if both constitutional amendments pass, the one with the most votes will prevail. Proposition C would make statutory changes that the legislature could reverse by a simple majority that would take effect only if neither amendment passes. So that's how it would be in Missouri. Again, other states have different rules on how that would happen. And finally, in Colorado, where they already do have recreational cannabis, there's Amendment X, which would remove from the state constitution the definition of industrial hemp that was added by Amendment 64 in 2012 that legalized cannabis for recreational purposes. So this actually sounds like it would be a good thing because in a lot of places, hemp is considered a controlled substance because, well, it kind of looks like weed and, weed's bad.
I looked it up, and it is 3 different groups in Missouri sponsoring 3 different things.
That's all for tonight, but we'll be back tomorrow and always online at freetalklive.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's